All right, so we're live. Hello, hello, hello.
Right,
Welcome you
okay.
all to topics, tantrums, and tea. I'm so happy that you all decided to hang out with me tonight. I know this is gonna be fun because we always have a good time. We always do. Yeah. So I'm just
We're gonna
glad
chop it
y'all.
up. You gotta do the chop it down.
We're gonna be chopping it up today. Yes. So Andrea, Lord, where is your ass? Okay, so I'm gonna keep trying to fiddle with this and see if I can find her ass. Where is your ass? I'm gonna ask her just that. Where is your ass?
I just sent it up. I just tweeted it too.
We'll see where her ass is. So I am so happy that you all are hanging out tonight. Let me see. Did you see? Did you use this link? Oh no, but you talking to her.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what's happening.
Thank you, Bookie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we are. She keeps saying she in the studio. Is
I
it?
don't
It?
think she
Is
might
it?
be using the wrong link. That's why I sent her that
That's what
link.
I gave her. Are you in the live studio? We can't see you, boo. We can't see you. Maybe you should close out your. Maybe you should turn your phone off, whatever you're using, and turn it back on and see if that works. She says, "Wait." I said, "Where's her ass?" She gonna type, "I have no booty." All
Oh
right.
gosh.
Well, no wonder we can't find you. No wonder you can't find
Oh
you.
my god.
Okay. She says she's watching. So go out, Andrea, and come back. Like turn it all off, whatever you're using, and come back, please, and just see if that works. All right. So here's the thing. We are gearing up for this show that I know we're gonna have some good information about. Before as we get started, I know one or two, we should have two more people in here now. But I know that Andrea is finding her ass. And Sonny and Sonny said that he just got in the house, but he'll be in a second. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's start off by first again, thank you all for coming. I really, really do appreciate this. I know that you could be somewhere else using your time doing something different, but you decided to hang out with us, and so I appreciate that. So let's start with Nova because I can see her at top. Nova, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you hailing from, and you know what you do, that kind of thing.
Well, I am located in Washington D.C., originally from Kansas, and I've been here. This is actually my 10th year here in DC, so May will be my 10-year anniversary of me being here in DC.
Okay.
I do podcast here. I'm in the communications field and currently a student at Georgetown University, Public Relations, Corporate Communications. Shout out
That's
PRCC
awesome.
program. You
Yes, yes,
know,
yes,
so
yes,
this will
yes.
be my second time as a Hoya. So I'm super super excited about what I've accomplished here so far. I mean, I still have a lot of things I want to do and a long way to go. So I'm in the process. I'm making it happen.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
That's awesome.
It's exciting. I remember it was a long time ago, but I do remember undergrad and grad school, and I will say to anybody who might be considering, anybody who might be listening and may be considering, this is college is some of the best time you're gonna ever have in your life. So if you haven't, if you never considered it, or if you're thinking about it, listen, just take it from somebody who knows. You're gonna learn so much about you if you hit that
Mm,
university campus, and it's just a beautiful thing. And
it
I'm
is.
and I'm I'm sure Nova will agree with this. You will make memories that you will never forget. People that you will never
Absolutely.
ever forget.
Absolutely. And good relationships. I was kind
Absolutely.
of, yeah, I'm a non-traditional student as they say.
Hmm.
So I know a lot of people who, maybe non-traditional students, going back to school, they're gonna be
Uh-huh.
like, oh, everybody's so much younger than me. I just feel out of place. No, not at all. It's so many people in these programs, ranging from 18 up to 30, who are going to programs and getting their education or, just finishing what they started. So you're never too young,
I
never too
agree.
young,
I agree.
never too, or I should say you're never too old. I'm sorry. You're never too old. And,
Hmm.
I get real, actually, that has been bothering me just so 2020 can keep, I'm too old for this. Like you can
What?
keep that, you can keep the age restriction.
Right?
2020 can keep that. I don't have time for the age restriction. You know what I
I
mean?
heard
Like,
that.
I don't care. Like at the end of the day, I'm gonna live my life and I'm gonna do everything that I can. It may not fit what you think, but hey, this is my life.
Hey, I was smarter. when I went when I was a non-traditional student than I was when I was traditional. I know that.
Yep.
I know
Same
that.
here.
And I think that I had a better time as a non-traditional student, I think, because I was ready for it. You know, I understood the value of getting getting good grades, what have you. First time around, I ain't gonna tell y'all how many parties I went to at Central State University. No, I'm sorry. Wilberforce, because I actually found out that I could drop 3 or 4 of them F's on my transcript at Wilberforce if I transferred to Central across the street. So I hightailed my ass over there and dropped 3 F's. I'm like, then you know what I started doing? I started chopping it up. Guess who is in the stream? Somebody done found their ass.
Ah,
Hello. Found your ass.
I am so sick of this. I'm doing it on my phone. My laptop apparently is having issues, so that's what I was doing before.
You hear?
I'm trying to get it on my laptop because I hate doing it from my phone, but I'm here.
I'm feeling that screen name. We're not gonna mess you up tonight, right? Andrea.
Okay, see, y'all need to respect my name. I'm gonna say this. Y'all need to respect my name. Y'all get it all funky.
Put some respect on it.
Wait a minute. Y'all make it all funky.
It's the public school system that taught us this, you know, phonics and stuff.
You know, it's Andrea. Soften it up. Put some rose petals on it. It's Andrea.
I love it. Hey, we just want to say.
Oh my God, she ain't playing. I just not see it.
I got you. I'm looking at it.
We're so glad you made it.
You got 3 E's. You better hold that E out.
Andrea.
I see the last
N's. You need some N's on that. Andrea.
The focus showing up. All right, so
oh my God,
let me let the last person in for right now, and that is Sonny.
Sonny making money like bees make honey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sonny.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Cheers up in this piece.
What's up, Sonny?
Sorry I'm late.
No, it's all right. It's all right. So we were just giving a little bit of something about ourselves, so because everybody doesn't know everybody. So we started off with Nova. Nova, can you just give a quick little something for Sonny, and then we'll keep going? Just a quick little something.
Oh, okay. So, Sonny, I am from DC, so I'm here in Washington, DC. Oh no, I'm from Kansas. God, Lee. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's the allergy meds. Forgive me. It's the weed. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gassed up like a mug. But anyway.
Oh.
Tell the truth. Let the truth be heard.
Right. She ain't honest. We can't help her. I like it.
So anyway, I'm from Kansas City, but I've been here in DC. It'll be 10 years in May, and I am working on my master's in public relations, corporate communications at Georgetown. And I am a podcaster. Oh, and some fun facts. I was on WOL for 1450 AM for about almost 3 years and had a great opportunity to do interviewing people like Dick Gregory, Joe Madison, awesome. The Black Eagle, XM Radio, Disco Queen, Candy Staten. Yeah, so we had a lot of great interviews, and yeah, so that's just me in a nutshell.
Okay, you say you from Kansas City?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That's what's up. But you live in DC.
Yep.
Okay.
Chocolate City.
Not no more.
So thank you, Nova. I appreciate
she
that.
She said not no more.
Why is it not anymore?
We'll get back to that.
Oh my God. The whole city
kind of like Detroit.
Right. Okay, let's go across to, I can see Lutcrecia directly next to you. So Lutcrecia, tell us a little bit about,
everybody knows Lutcrecia.
Well, Nova doesn't.
Rev Run.
Tell us a little something, Lutcrecia.
Hi, my name is Lutcrecia. I'm in Fayetteville, Georgia, originally from LaGrange, Georgia. So I've been in Georgia most of my life. I am a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. Yes. Women Marines.
She'll shoot first, ask questions later.
She told us that.
You got it. Death is the end. For sure, death is the end. I'm a killer. But anyway.
I love it.
I'm a killer.
Okay.
But don't push me.
But don't push. Yeah. Andrea, we ain't doing this tonight.
Yes, we are.
Well, let's get started first. Let's get started
Okay.
first.
So, I am or have been, as we found out last stream, minister, pastor. That was me. Now I am more of a spiritual advisor type person with an opinion about a lot of stuff because I'm also a nerd and I love to read.
Ooh.
And very opinionated about a lot of stuff. And that's why I love doing stuff like this. And I'm glad to have connected with people like you all. So I didn't have to create it. I could just join it. Ain't that right?
Hey.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
right. Absolutely. We
So-
always looking for like-minded people. So that was
Yeah.
perfect.
So this year I'm hoping to get started.
No. Don't tell us yet. Is that your
Oh, did it?
No, not yet. We coming though. We coming.
Okay. Well, I won't start talking about the projects, but
Yeah, just hold 1
I
second. We coming. We coming.
public speaker, motivational speaker, working on life coaching. I know that's kind of going on out there, but that's who I am right now. I'm somebody's mama, one person's grandmama, and I just enjoy being out here with you guys. That's about me.
Thank you. You didn't say you were a hot mess. I'll just add that to you.
Oh,
Hot mess. All right.
No.
I can see Sonny next. Sonny, tell us a little bit about yourself.
okay. My name is.
What you do?
My name is Clarence. I'm from the Detroit area, which is how I know Vicky, De Niro, and Andrea.
I know that's kind of going on out there, but that's who I am right now. I'm somebody's mama.
Sorry.
Somebody got to mute.
Mama.
Sorry.
Well,
Why is it Rick?
We've got to turn down the YouTube.
Sorry.
But anyway,
It's delayed. It's delayed. That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a big delay on YouTube. Okay, let me focus. I currently live in Chicago. Work with children. Oh no, what happened to De Niro? I work with youth. I have been to your fair City Nova, and I went to this little place, little hole in the wall called Ooh Eyes.
Oohs and ahs.
Yes. That's
Okay, yeah. Oohs and ahs.
Yes, it looked like I don't know, like a shoe store that's about to go out of business.
Yeah, right there on U Street.
Exactly.
What was it? A restaurant?
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was delicious.
Yeah, it's the best soul food. You can
Yeah, I
find
don't even eat salmon, and I ate some bourbon salmon or something with macaroni and cheese. It was a lick.
Wow.
Yeah, they renovated upstairs. You know, it looks like
Yeah. I went upstairs and ate. I said that I was like, y'all got an upstairs, but yeah, it looked like somebody's house.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sonny. I appreciate that. Next would be De Niro. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do.
You're on mute.
Mute.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Sorry about that. I got knocked out somehow, so that's crazy. Anyway, my name is De Niro Williams, aka Crazy Horse to those who know me from Yaktown, aka Coach D, aka Life Coach D. Now, anyway, I go by a whole bunch of names. I tell people if you know me by De Niro, that's a certain area of my life because pretty much I go by D now. But anyway, born and raised Pontiac, Michigan. I'm out here on the West Coast. I live in San Diego area, San Diego County. Currently entrepreneurial. Adventures going on right now. Just released my own store, released my third written book, and obviously life coaching. Really just put my whole platform out there. So it's an athletic platform. I do life coach. I do self improvement, anything along that lines. I'm also a mentor. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Obviously, some of the things as far as athletics is kind of on the low because of the whole COVID thing. So I'm going a little crazy, not being out there coaching somebody's kids, but for the most part.
And I'm out. And he's out.
I don't know what's going on with his connection.
I don't know either. All right, Andrea, let us know. Give us a little something about you.
Originally born and raised Detroit, Michigan. Just moved back to Detroit after being in Colorado for almost 10 years. Talk about a culture smack in the face. Going to Colorado and coming back to Detroit. I am not working right now, so help assist out. But I have some ambitions and what have you. So We'll see. And let me just say, I have thoroughly missed these types of discussions, just like Lucretia. This is like life to me, having,
Aw.
conversations, because everybody in Colorado would get offended for stating your own opinion. Nobody could hold their own. Why did you say that about me? And it's like, I don't like it.
Period. With a T.
If you don't like it,
Right.
or if you like it, good for you. I don't like it. Stating that would break people down, hurt their feelings. Next thing you know, the girl crying, and I'm like, you know what? I can't. So,
Well,
yay!
welcome home then. Welcome home. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. I appreciate it.
And are all the sisters on here locked up?
Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Hey,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
hey.
about. Okay, so my name
Yeah,
is.
I'm locked up for now.
Oh,
Okay,
you looking good for now. How about
You
that?
okay.
know, a couple of weeks from
So
now, it might be something else.
I'm VBTouray. I am a teacher by profession, a life coach by profession, and I'm an author. And I like to talk shit. So I'm glad y'all here.
Oh.
We'll of course bring De Niro back on when he when he finds his way back home. So moving right along. Here we
When he
go.
finds his booty too.
Yeah. Maybe he'll find his booty and the door back in. Okay, so here we go. We are our first topic. Of course, we do a topic, we do a tantrum, and we do two teas. We pour a little tea and we drink a little tea. So at the top of our topic for today, it kind of branches off a little bit from our Kwanzaa discussion. We had a really good Kwanzaa discourse, or during the week of Kwanzaa, about building community and that type of thing. But that kind of gave me the idea about setting the intention and setting intentions for the coming year personally. So like Andrea sent me something earlier and she said, are we doing this for, is this community or personal? So, no, we dealt with community and we'll continue with that throughout the year. Because one of my desires is definitely to take Kwanzaa 365 days of the year, right? Because we typically celebrate it in a week. And when the week is over, we go back to moving in isolation. That's something I don't want to do. However, for today's topic, I do want to move in isolation. Of course, we can gain support from each other, but I do think that it is at least in my experience, it's a wonderful thing to start your year. And I don't really mean well, I guess it's a resolution. I guess you can say that. But a lot of times people don't follow through with their resolutions. So I don't want to use that word. It's just semantics, but I won't use it simply because a lot of times folks, they're excited about the new year. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna lose 125 pounds, and they gain 125 pounds.
Whoa, wait a minute.
That kind of thing happens. So I'm just gonna stay away from the word resolution, not rather say that I think it's important to set an intention, and a goal for or 2 or 3, for the year, but also to create some kind of strategy and some kind of support system to make sure that you can carry those things out. So that's what our topic is about tonight. It's about setting a personal intention, an objective for yourself, right? For the new year. So I'm gonna say today, today is 115. It's 115/21. If God say the same, I would love to come back together 115/22 and see whether or not we have completed those things that we set out to do at the beginning of the year, or we said we wanted to do at the beginning of the year. All right. Here come the wayward children again. It's De Niro. There's wayward child number 1 and Andrea, wayward child number 2.
I just keep getting kicked off. It's crazy.
So
Oh
I just want to open the floor to anyone who wants to start. I would love to if we can do it in 15-20 minutes, I would love to give to all of us with an intention for this year. And maybe we can talk about when we finish some of the things that we could do to assist each other or support each other in accomplishing whatever your goal might be. So I'm just gonna start with Nova again because she's at the top on my screen right next to me. So I'm gonna ask her, Nova, is there an intention that you'd like to set for yourself for 21? For yourself or for I'm gonna leave it at that, for yourself.
I think that the intentions that I have is to read more and to try to like fill my head space with more positive images. Just to kind of just keep, a positive, light shining through. So definitely working on my energy because I can be very not negative, but just kind of rough around the edges. So I figured I kind of soften up just a little bit and just kind of expand my mind. And there's some books that I really want to get into. So definitely in the area of education, and then also just continuing to just try to relax and not worry. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times I get anxious about the next level, the next step, or accomplishing something. And sometimes my anxiety drives me not to accomplish anything. So I think I just want to kind of just not worry so much, and also just not talk to a lot of people about like my plans or the way that I'm doing things, because some people just have like just a way of trying to tell you how to live your life according to what they think or something like that, but they don't understand your process and what you're going through or how you're being processed. You know what I'm saying? And so they have a lot to say. So I've just kind of learned, just even within these first, few days of this new year, is just some people I'm just not going to be able to explain anything to or talk to about, the direction my life is going in, because they got sometimes slick things come out of their mouth that just shouldn't. And I said I wasn't going to cuss out my family members anymore.
Oh,
and
no.
so, I said I'm not going to cuss the family out anymore. And so I figured
I hear you.
I just keep my shit to myself.
So if you had to say, Nova, in a sentence, I want you to finish this stem for me. One of Nova's intentions for 2021, for year 2021, is to
be free in my mind, free from anybody's expectation, free from my own expectations. And I don't mean that's saying that, oh, I'm not going to, have, I guess maybe, just letting my expectations of what things should be or what they should look like, because they don't always come out that way. You know what I mean? And when I free myself from that, I'm able to like see exactly what's in front of me and be grateful for that, so the more can come. So I just rather be free.
interesting. So one of Nova's intentions for the 2021 year is to free my mind from expectation.
Yeah, anybody's. None.
From anybody's expectations.
Yeah, don't expect me to do nothing. Just see what I do. Okay? And that's what you get. And trust and believe, since I'm doing it, it's going to be great, because I think I'm great. See, we so free now.
I love it.
So free.
So let me ask you this. Let me put that up there real quick. Let me ask you this. What will you do? What is there anything that you will do to ensure that you keep that before you?
I'm just gonna keep, like I said, I found some really, really good books that talk about the power. It's called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And I think it's just a really, really good book. The author, he is like Christian, but it's not like somebody shoving scripture down your throat. It's just very practical, according to our lives and the way that we think about things, see things, and that sort of stuff. So yeah, definitely, as I continue to work on this book and these exercises, I think that just reminding myself, of that, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, because I think if you free yourself of any expectation and just free your mind, like you don't expect from other people. It's not that you can't depend on them. It's just, you just let life happen, and you just don't have like a worry because you didn't expect anything. You just let life happen.
Now have you, is that the, no, well, I guess not. I was gonna say, is that the way you've lived in the past, but you haven't, right? That's why you,
well, as of recently, yeah, I have been, just over the past month or so, as I've been reading this book, I really have, mainly mentally, when certain thoughts come up in my mind and they bring, maybe anxiousness, disappointment, or fear, or maybe the thought of failure, anything like that, I'm immediately addressing those before I allow those thoughts to manifest. You know what I mean? So I honestly am learning how to live like that, and I can say that it's becoming more free. Like I was talking to my mother earlier because somebody had said something that really upset me. Like it really upset me because it's just kind of like you don't like. I'm not even gonna go there because I don't want to put that person on blast because they don't see this. But like it just upset me, and my mother was just like, you don't. She just talked to me. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and push this to the side because I have my moments of discouragement just when it comes to trying to accomplish certain things here. Mainly getting a permanent job. Like I've gone from internships, paid good money to. I mean, decent money for an internship or whatever. I've survived 10 years. I'll say that here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like I have my frustrations, and then it's just like, why be frustrated because of somebody else's expectation of you when you've been here literally for 10 years and could have been gone back home? You understand what I'm saying? Like if I thought about writing a book about just a small, maybe anywhere from like 30 to 50 page book about my first 10 years in DC. I mean, I've literally had to depend on, like to survive this, like I was in a situation, let me just put this little story out there. I was in a situation in my other apartment. I had moved in and these like old crackheads was like really funking. Like I'm telling you, like y'all wouldn't even believe this story. Anyway, so we get into it. They live in my building. The landlord tried to put me out. So I looked at him. I said, well, they ain't stopped making lawyers when yours came out. So I was like, all right, fine. He tried to put me out. Long story short, because he didn't even have his business in order, meaning certificate of occupancy, a basic business license on the building, none of that. He didn't have any of that. I ended up living in that apartment rent-free for 4 years because I knew the law. I knew how to exercise the law, and I backed him in a corner. And he thought that because I was at Georgetown, I was a lawyer because of the way I carried it. So he thought I was in law school and I wasn't. But I let him think that. I let him think that. And I met a dope lawyer at Georgetown University who showed me the law on how to deal with the situation. And I didn't have to, like, I didn't have a retainer agreement or anything. He showed me what to do. And before I even got accepted into Georgetown, I had got my real estate license, never did anything with it, but I understood the laws. And so when it came down to it, there was nothing he could do about it. And then mind you, not only that, when the landlord ended up dying, the brother took over the building because he didn't leave it to anyone. So the brother lived in Florida. He wanted to sell the building. So, you know, gentrification is happening in DC. So they're paying people money to move out of their apartments. And what they're really paying for is your TOPA right, Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act. You get the first right to buy the building if the landlord decides to sell the building. Well, developers, of course, they want it. And they want it bad. Because they can get it for a cheap price and flip each individual unit for $500,000. So me, I'm like, well, I want to cut. You want my TOPA rights? So they had to pay me $35,000 to move out of that apartment after living rent free for 4 years. Okay. Now here I'm going through all of this job situation, and I've messed around and got a whole salary in one check that I was making. It's some of the jobs that I had, but remember, these are internships, temporary positions. Trying to build up a resume to get to where I want to go in the communications field. So it's just kind of like, I think about all of that. And sometimes when people come in and start running their mouth about what's going on in your life and your struggles, and you just trying to vent, it drowns out all of the things that you've overcome and everywhere, and you seeing everywhere the God was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now it's like, at this point, I don't have time to be stressed out. I don't have time because I've always been okay. Always been okay. I mean, I remember having to get back into Georgetown because I didn't have enough money to pay for classes. I worked a job for $8.25 for 30 days straight to get that money.
So this is what I'm getting. I'm looking at your statement again now. Here comes De Niro. Y'all welcome him home. Hey, De Niro. Hey, JL. I see JL on. JL is on, y'all. Say hey to JL. She is in the chat. She said, write that book, Nova. Write that book. So this is what I'm thinking, Nova, when you talk. it sounds like now it really makes sense, right? When you say you want to be free in your mind from anybody's expectations. Because when you first said expectations, I was thinking, okay, yeah, you want to be free from expectations, but you have to have some expectations for yourself to accomplish things that you've accomplished. But when you say what you say, that makes a lot of sense to me. So I would say, so I want to say this to you. Really, and I know you and I talked a little bit before about the fact that you grew up in a Pentecostal church too, right? You, for real, you really are living a faith walk. You really are having a faith walk. Not the ones that we hear people talk about, but you don't really understand. But you really are walking in faith. You understand what I'm saying? So when you talk about really, you're talking about just literally walking by God's word. What you get in your spirit, what you feel like God feeds you, that's what you do. But when you walk that walk, and I think that's what you're saying right now, and I can completely agree with that. When you walk that walk, you better know that you know, and can't nobody folk can't speak into your life, because
Not
most
at
of the
all.
time, no, because they don't. For the majority of people don't have that kind of faith. They don't.
You
They
know
read
what?
about it.
That's real. Yeah,
They don't.
that's
They
real.
talk about it, but most people do not have the kind of faith that you need to walk that thing every day like that. They don't
Yeah.
have it because they're used to, it's lip service is what it is.
Yeah.
Real faith walk is when I heard Ayala say one time, and I said, that's the truth. She said, people like to say they're walking in faith. I'm walking in faith. She said, but if you don't, she said, when you get ready to make the next move, if you don't have just a little bit of PP in your panties, then you really ain't walking in faith. If you don't have just a little bit of, if you ain't got like, if you ain't got it, you really are not walking in faith. Because when you're really walking in faith, you don't know you just don't know what the next. You don't always know what the next step is. You don't.
Yeah, and that's my life.
Yeah.
And I mean, even moving to DC to know I was an athlete. I had a track scholarship. I was, doing my thing as an athlete, and came home and was like, I could not stop drinking. I was getting twisted, DUIs, kicking it, just whatever, working. I was making decent money, for the time, 16, 17 years ago. I was making pretty decent money living in Kansas. And I was like, man, I got to get up out of here because I ain't doing nothing. I remember going to like an event with my friends, and everybody had came back home from college and where they had moved to. And it was just like I was the only person not doing anything. So when I came here to DC, I only had $300 and came to work a job for $7.25 an hour making commission, supposedly. So it's been a journey, and I appreciate God for it. Like it really showed me who I am, what I can do. I mean, sky's the limit. Like when I think about everything I've accomplished, sky is the limit. That's just how I feel. And with no expectations, though. With no expectations, I'm gonna get there.
I can completely understand that. I am in agreement with you. I have lived that way myself for a very long time. I feel you. Anybody want to speak on that? Let me somebody's asking for the link. I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. Anybody want to add to what Nova said? Ask her a question, give her some advice, take some advice.
Well, I just want to encourage you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you.
Right. I don't even. The devil's a lie. No, just I'm hearing a lot of things that I've experienced, that I'm hearing you, like you're in that phase, in that place. And so I just encourage you, because I said before, Vicky, and you wrote it down and it kind of hits you. When you understand your yes, you know when to say no. And part of that for me was understanding that pleasing people, or trying to get people to understand what it was that I was trying to, almost like selling people, for lack of a better way. I had to get to the point where I'm going to do what I have to do either way. And the last thing I think, is I don't want to steal all of this, is that I had to learn there was a huge difference between walking in excellence and doing things perfect. And once I realized that excellence was always going to be my standard, because I could never be perfect, it set me free. So as you venture me in this year, that's just a little encouragement for you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you.
I love it. Anybody else?
I just want to say, God bless. I heard you say you ain't taking no advice from nobody, so I ain't about to give you no. No thing.
No. You don't. No. I
I'm just
do
messing.
appreciate the wisdom. Now I appreciate the wisdom.
No,
I'll take wisdom all day.
I
I'm
think
just
what
not-
she's saying, let me just help. Can I, if you will allow me to rephrase what you said, Nova, what she really meant was she ain't taking no shit from nobody. That's what she
Not
meant.
at all. No,
That's what
not
she's
at
saying.
all.
I
For
got you.
sure. For sure.
Well, God bless you on that, Nova. That's what's
Thank
up.
you. I
Good to
appreciate
hear.
it. The bad thing is I never did before, but I think now it's just like I'm really like I'm over it in my mind. Like I don't even have space for you in my mind.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
You know
good.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just don't have space for you right now.
You
Like
gotta get like that. You got to
yeah,
get like that. You have to.
yeah.
Can I just say one more thing and then I'm gonna move on to it will be Lutcrecia will be next. And that is in my family, I've always been one of the first to do this or to do that. Lots, I've always been a trailblazer, in my family, right? And so I learned a long time ago that you really had to be able to stand on your own, right? And you really have to know that because people don't have the kind of faith that you have, not regularly, right? People have a lot of, like I was saying earlier, people have a lot of ideas, they have a lot of vision, but people don't have a lot of courage. And if they see you moving in courageously, a lot of times they'll throw that stuff at you really out of their own fear. But if you're not careful, that's the kind of shit that you don't want in your spirit because you
Not at
realize
all.
that, because you
Not
realize
at
you gotta have
all.
tunnel vision to accomplish
Yep.
this stuff. And you have to be able to turn off the noise because the majority of them folks, when you see them today, they're gonna be sitting on the sidelines. And when you finish the race, they're gonna be sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel me?
Yeah.
All right. Lutcrecia, come on, tell us what you're gonna do. What is your intention
Yes,
for this year,
For this year,
for 2021, baby, 2021?
2021, this year, my intention is focus. One word, focus. Focus.
Okay.
So the background to me getting to focus is the fact that from, let's see, this is 2021, 2020, 2019, 18, 17. Those were my years of turmoil and change and transformation. Those were the years that everything was changing, everything was coming to fruition to get me to a solid place. You know what I'm saying? So going back to what, Nova was saying, because I didn't say anything at first because I was going to tie that into what I was fixing to say is sometimes your transition can be for a few months and sometimes your transition can be for a few years. A transitional period is a period of time that it's building you, it's making you, it's creating you. That's when you start going through all the ins and the outs and the ups and the downs. And then, because sooner or later, you're going to plateau. That's coming. You're going to get to that point where you plateau. And so my plateau came in 2020. Because for the first time in my life, especially with the shutdown, I was able to be still. So my children were growing up and they were moving out. My career changed, my money got right. All those things happened, and I just kind of plateaued. 2020 was my year of clarity because I was able to, for the first time ever. So when people were talking about 2020 being a year of clear vision, for me, it was definitely that because I was able to, for the first time in forever, because I had been somebody's mother since I was 19 years old. So now all of a sudden, I'm not anybody's mother. I'm not struggling. I'm not focusing on anyone else. I had to get to a point of realizing who I was. So that's what 2020 did for me. So I had to learn who Lutcrecia was because I didn't know me. So for me, that entailed going to therapy, getting out all the stuff from the past. I'm still in therapy. I think therapy is a great thing. I recommend therapy to everybody. Everybody go sit on somebody's couch. I don't care if you're the pastor. I don't care if you're the life coach, the thinker, whatever. You still have stuff within you that you need to address, and you need somebody that you can talk to, that you feel like you can really talk to. And for me in therapy, I was able to say things out loud that I had held in my heart for so long, things that I never gave air to. That's what therapy did for me. Things that were hurting me that I never gave, because when you say it, you give it life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I got in therapy and I said things. And that's one thing that I said to her, because when I went, she was like, you don't look like you're not in crisis. You're not in. I said, of course I don't look that way. But I know that there are some things that's in my heart, these things that I'm carrying with me. And I need to be able to break down. This is my safe place to break down, because I can't break down out there in the world, but I can break down in this little space that you have here. And so that's what therapy did for me. So going through therapy, getting to know myself, getting myself, trying to figure out, I got all these gifts and all these things that I wanted to do. Now I'm free to be able to do them. So that's why I say 2021 is the year of focus, and also on making decisions. I want to write the book. I want to get back out. I'm not preaching anymore. I don't want to go back to preaching, unless, God sends
You're
a way
still
of,
preaching though. You still preaching.
Noah, when, so you have to see me through that Noah experience. He gonna create a fish. He gonna so but I want to go back into public speaking. I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to go into life coaching, because I've been through enough stuff. I can definitely help some people. But it's about cultivating that and getting to a place where I can get a message out and it can work for people and it can help people from a pure place. But I couldn't do that until I helped myself. So that's why I appreciated 2020 so much. I've never had so much alone time. I've never had,
That's a blessing.
to pray, to meditate, to ask myself heart questions, to figure out, because a lot of times we don't think that there's nothing wrong with us, but sometimes there's a lot of stuff wrong with us. But when you by yourself, you can't blame nobody but you. You gotta confront yourself.
Right.
So 2020, and again, Nova, that's what happens in transition. You get to confront yourself.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
You get to confront yourself. So 2020, I had to figure out, well, these are the things about me I like. These are things about me I don't like. This is the stuff I don't talk about. This is the things that hurt me. These are things from my past that have made me be the way that I am today. I need to settle that stuff. I need to squash it. And so, and in doing all of those things to get to where I am now, it's about making some decisions, because I'm getting ready to do a new thing. So 2021 is my year of focus and making some decisions on where it is I want to go, because in 2022, it is done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Okay, well, I see we just got essential recycling came in. So he is saying to Lutcrecia, enjoy the journey, Lutcrecia. Enjoy the journey. And then somebody named T-Fro, I'm not sure who that is. I know who essential recycling is. That's Dominique Head from the Pawnee Regional Chamber. I know who that is. I'm not sure who T-Fro is, but he said, how y'all doing?
We doing
T-Fro
good.
said, how y'all doing? They doing good, T-Fro. They doing good. So Lutcrecia, finish your statement for me. If Lutcrecia's intentions, one of Lutcrecia's intentions for the 2021 year is to get focused.
Focus, make some decisions. It's about what I'm going to do. It's about what I'm going to do in my next phase of life. Who am I going to be in my next phase of life? That's what it's about. So the first half was, if I had to name it, the first half was I was somebody's mother. I was somebody's wife then. I was somebody's employee then. I was somebody's this. But for this half, I'm going to be someone else. I'm reinventing myself. I'm going to be something else, someone new. It's time to go to the next level. But I got to make that decision about which way that's going to go.
So, okay, let me ask you. I mean, if I'm out of order, just say no. Some folks don't, some women don't like it.
You ain't out of order. Just ask.
Okay. So do you mind me asking how old you are?
I am 48 years old.
Okay. So, and the only reason I asked you that, Lutcrecia, is because I know that there are people who think that by a certain age, you cannot reinvent yourself.
Not
and
true.
I want them to know that that's not the case.
No.
Because I reinvented myself too about the same age. I'm 51 this year. Mm-hmm. And I left my job as a teacher for over 20 years in 2013. Mm-hmm. And in 2013, well, we'll talk about that later. That's a whole, I want to move on to the next one. But my point is, I too had one of those, somebody might say if it's a midlife crisis, maybe, I don't know. I know one thing. I'm so glad that I changed things up that I don't know what to do. Right? So, hats off to you. Hats off to you. So let me ask you this, because, and the only reason I'm asking you this question is because a lot of times, and this is for people that we don't know who's going to see this video, right?
Oh yeah.
Once we put it out there, it's out there. So here's the question. Give me a practical thing that you will do to make sure that you focus. What practical thing will you do on a regular basis to make sure that you find your focus and remain focused? And if you want to think about it, that's fine too.
I'm going to answer that because I'm going to answer that. How am I going to decide what to say? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down a list of all the things that I have done and all of my strengths. Awesome. And from my strengths, I'm going to see, because for everything that I've done, I had to have a fire for it. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a spark, a fire. And I'm going to look at my gifts and say, what is it that I still have a spark for? What is it that I still have a fire for? What is it that I still want to do? What is it that I want to do with it? Or do I want to create something else? And then once I find my spark, I'm going to chase it. Because like I said, 2021 is all about getting it done. It's going to be done. So this is making that decision and doing whatever it is that I need to start doing to get to that next point. So if I'm going to decide to write the book, I need to write the book. I would love to get to a point where I'm back in teaching people and speaking again. That's my passion. I miss teaching. I really miss it.
Right.
So I want to be able to get out there and do that again. And I want to know what I want to talk about. What do I want to teach? So, I mean, I've got a lot of deep soul searching to do within myself to pick out what it is that I want to do. And I'm blessed because a lot of people don't understand what their gifts are. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go in and you have to take this inventory of yourself. What are my gifts? What are my strengths? What is it that I want to do? And then from there, decide what can I do to build on it.
Can I add something? Absolutely.
Yes.
So that makes me think of this for anybody who might be listening. Essential Recycling said, "Rocket, sister, rocket." He says, "Awesome," and then he says, "I'm glad that God blessed us with you, Vicky. I'm glad. I mean, you already know how I feel about you and how blessed I am to have you. So thank you. Ditto. Back at you, brother. Back at you." This is what I'm thinking about when you say that. And I use this a lot. And I got this from one of my former pastors, right? He said this when I was about 15 years old, never forgot it. And I always tell people, but this is not just for you. This is for anybody who may be listening to you saying, oh, I need to make the same kind of decisions, right? So he said, if you're trying to find out what it is that you should be doing, what your purpose is at the moment, or what you should be doing at the moment, right? He didn't talk about the moment necessarily. He's just saying if you need to hone in on what you should be doing, what your purpose is. He said, take a few minutes and think about what is it that you did when you were, say, 5 or 6 years old. If your parents were to say to you, get out of here, go in your room and play. And you had unstructured playtime, right? He said, in your unstructured playtime, what did you do? Because a lot of times, if you narrow in on that and really think about that, you can find out what it is you really gifted at, because that's what you did when nobody bothered you, right? And of course, when he said it, I got to thinking. I was like, what did I do? What did I do? And I remember what I did. I played teacher. I put my teddy bears and my dolls up, and I played teacher. And when I was with my little friends, and they said, let's play, I said, let's play school. But I had to be a teacher, right? Let's play school. They say, but I want to be a teacher. I said, but you was a teacher last time. They said, no, you weren't. You were the teacher last time, Vicky. Well, let me be one more time.
Right.
That's what I did. So even when I left this teaching profession a few years ago, I just went into the community classroom. That's really all I did. I moved out of those 4 walls where they were restricting me, right? And then I came out into the community so I can run with my people. That's all that happened. I'm still teaching. That's what I do, right? So I want to say that. And the other thing I'd like to say for anybody who could be listening is you could also be, and I got the feeling this is the case with Lutcrecia, you could also be one of those people that are multi-talented. And when you're multi-talented, you sometimes will get confused and sidetracked about what to do, because you got so many things that you can do and you do well, right? So this is what I want everybody to know, if you don't already know that. There is a time and a season for everything. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Find out what you feel led to do at the time and the moment, and do that, because you will be surprised how, when you're working in that vein, how you start morphing into your other gifts and talents as you move along. So you don't have to be afraid and say, well, what if what if I go the wrong way? What if I really should be doing this and I started doing this? Don't worry about it. Get in where you can fit in, and when you get in there, relax, let God talk to you. Keep your ears open, keep your heart right, so that you can hear. Just keep moving, and you will be astounded by the way you start in one area and stuff just put up. And when you look up, you then moved into that area too, or over in that area. So don't sweat it. Just get in where you fit in and settle in, settle in and move in your anointing.
Indeed. And look at where I am now. Look who I'm hanging with.
See?
Look at what happened.
See?
So
Dominique said something a little earlier. I want to go back to it. I didn't know what that meant. So hopefully he'll explain it. He's in the chat. He said, the first thing he said was, he moved it. So maybe he don't want me to say it because I see it's gone. So I won't say it. I'll leave it alone. But if you want to expound on that I saw earlier, Dominique, please let me know. All right, we're moving on to Andrea. And right before I do that, let me do one thing. Y'all take a look at the ticker tape that's running right now. And it says the door prize goes to De Niro from Cali.
Ho, 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 ho.
Because listen, we said check in at what, 8:45? At 7:30, De Niro was sitting in front of the computer because I was messing with my hair and busting pimples. I looked up De Niro, so I said, OMG, it was like 8:30. De Niro had been there 5 minutes, I believe, already. I told Famar, I said, De Niro is already sitting in front of the computer. He said,
I'm
that boy
mad.
ain't paid for nothing.
I'm mad because I was there at 8:40, but I'm sitting in the studio by myself.
Listen, when you said that, you kept saying I'm in the studio and we couldn't see you. I said, what studio is she in? Well, is it a live studio somewhere? What studio is she at? But anyway, yeah, I just want to let y'all know that it says check your Cash App. So De Niro got a gift over in Cash App because
Let's go, baby.
Thank you. I just want you to know I appreciate you. That's all.
Thank you.
All right. Move right along, Miss Andrea. Andrea, what is your intention for this 2021 year? Let the people hear you.
Mine is not as, I don't know, happy, as anyone else's. It's to grieve. I left Detroit almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm not going to talk about this much because it makes me cry. Okay. My father died in 2018, and I wasn't here. My grandmother died March of 2020, and I wasn't here. And I've had several family members die, and I wasn't here. And it was hurtful. And before I left Colorado, somebody talked to me and they said, you gotta let some people go. And you gotta grieve. And there's a lot of things that I ran away from by leaving Detroit. And now, I gotta come back home and deal with it. And deal with all the memories and of all those people. So I'm grieving.
Take your time.
I'm grieving.
Take your time.
Andrea, I got a podcast that I dedicated for those who grieve. And here's my plug. It's called the Live series. I don't know if y'all can see my background. I'm definitely pubbing it, but it's called Gone But Not Forgotten. And I was led to record that back in March. And so I encourage you to go listen to that. And I hopefully that is an encouragement to you, because I talk about the 7 stages of grief, and I go through a lot of different things in that, but it was specifically for people who are grieving. And I go into some different details. So that's an encouragement for you. But we all have to go through that, and all have had to go through that. So hopefully, that's my olive branch. Hopefully you can go and catch that, and hopefully it encourages you, because that was the heart behind it, to really allow people that process to be able, or show people how to walk through that process of grieving.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Kind of also like what Dominique said is something that I had gotten to, I think, when I hit my 40s. But now that I hit, dare I say, 50s.
It's a beautiful thing, girl.
It is.
I know.
You know how many folk didn't make it to 50?
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
right.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that making sure I put people in priority. It's like, so, not caring what other people think of me, and learning to look at people, and some people have things to say about you. You're too fat, you're too tall, you're too dark, you're too this, you're too something. And it's like, does that person's opinion hold any value in my life? No. So why do I care what they think?
Yeah.
And just keep it moving on that.
That's
good. And a lot of what you said, did I call you Dominique? I meant Nova. I am so sorry.
Dominique must have a word for you. I hope you
I know,
heard
right?
Dominique must have a word for you.
I'm so sorry, Nova. I love your name. It's like an artist named Nova Pearl. I love your name.
Just so you know, that's not my real name.
Well, girl, keep it. It's beautiful.
It's my radio name. But yeah.
Oh, girl, it's
we
beautiful.
love it. We love it.
I know.
I waited
love
for this
it.
whole rant earlier about Nova.
I know.
Just let that ride.
Let that ride. That is just an awesome name. I want to come up with something because y'all can't say my real name. But anyway, I digress. All that stuff you went through in DC, it was like I was going through the same stuff in Colorado. Going through the same stuff. Went out there, had no job at all, knew 2 people, and then one I stopped wanting to know. And I pushed through all that time by myself, doing it with the Lord's help, strictly with his help, and gained a spiritual family that I love and I miss, and but still ended up it was time. The Lord said it was time for me to come back home and just to grieve and deal with some stuff. So that's what I'm doing.
Well,
and the sister need a job. Did I say that?
You did, but I want to ask you a little more about that in a second. But finish your statement for me, Andrea. One of Andrea's intentions for the year 2021 is to
grieve.
It's grieve.
Yeah.
Wow.
Grieve.
To grieve.
It's important to grieve, and for a long time I didn't.
It is.
It absolutely
is. Very important to grieve, and it's a time for it.
And
I never had a chance to really, when you're not in the mix and you don't have to see things that remind you of people and all that stuff, it's easier to ignore. And I ignored my father's death all this time, and then to come back and he's not here makes you, it just, slaps you right in the face. And, because both parents are gone now. So it's like, wow, life without your parents is a lot different.
So did you ignore it, or did you, what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? When you just kind of,
check out.
You just kind of not disregard. There's another. I'm having.
I know what you're thinking about.
Deny or
no.
Avoid. That's the word.
I think it was more. I don't know. I kept myself busy, and I didn't have.
It was avoidance. You gotta cut yourself some slack, though. That's heavy. It's heavy. It's heavy. And I'm assuming, my thought is, as long as you were not here and you weren't walking the same streets that he walked and walking the same floors he walked, it was distant enough that you could handle it, right?
Yeah.
But once you came back, then you didn't have a choice but to deal with it.
That's right.
You got to cut yourself some slack, though, Andrea. Nobody wants to lose their parent.
Yeah.
I mean, well, some people do, but most of us don't want to lose our parents. Most of us don't want to lose our parents, but we don't have a choice. You got to cut yourself some slack, for real. What he said, what Dominique said earlier was he said I can say it. So maybe he will expound on it. But he came in saying I'm faced with some bullshit. So
Wow.
if he would like to expound on that, that would be great. We would appreciate it. And T Fro said, everybody make sure that you're safe this week. Amen, brother. Thank you. But there's a whole lot going on. And Essential Recycling said that I think in reference to your I don't know if it's to your grief or to the fact that he said he dealing with some bullshit. But anyway, I guess he'll give us some more information on that. Thank you, Andrea, for sharing that and being that transparent.
Yes.
And I'm glad you feel comfortable enough to do it here. So thank you.
Well, you kind of forced me.
I'm glad you felt comfortable enough. All right, so we are moving now to Danelle. Did we get you?
No,
we didn't. You're next to Andrea right now. You know when you go and come, and when you come and go, you be switching all over the place. So
look, because I was first. I'm feeling that kind of way.
it's like playing tag with you. Like
Hey, let me tell you, my number one area of warfare is my electronic devices. That I got some stories.
All right. Well, tell us, brother De Niro, what is your intention for the 2020? Well, wait, I forgot to say this about Andrea, but I think we already know how you're gonna do that. I probably should say to you, how will you grieve? But I think you can just cloud up and rain, can't you? You just cloud up and rain. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then there are other ways. No, you might want to now I'm thinking about it. You could journal some things. You could do, because you're creative. You're the first person to show me how to scrapbook. I will never forget that.
I showed you?
You sure did. You came to my apartment at Wayne State University.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
That's right. So I know you crafty. So you could do some kind of pictorial homage or some kind of.
You know what? It's so funny because I'm sitting here and I have old pictures of family sitting right here next to me, and that's one of my tasks is to put family photos in a scrapbook. And it really that was encouraging what you said about reinventing yourself, and you left your job after 20 years of teaching, and you said, what did you do as a kid? And I was creative. I create. I love to create. I bake, I sew, I craft things together. I do everything. And now it's like, okay, but how do I make that where I can live?
It's coming, Andrea. It's coming.
I need to know, because I don't want to go back into regular everyday 9 to 5.
Of course.
Corporate America. I don't want to do it.
You gotta stay connected. We gotta stay connected because it's in groups like this. It's in those relationships you make where information comes up and opportunities and that kind of thing. Stay connected. Stay connected.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I was in vocational, VOTEC, and I was in a commercial art class, and I wanted to be an artist. What happened to that?
Did you you go back to school, right? Why not?
I don't know.
I'm talking about for like an MFA or something like that.
We'll talk offline.
Okay.
Girl, I'm so sick of student loan debt. I don't know what to do. I don't want to go back to school.
Girl, just get the money. Okay, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll talk about that first. Listen, Tammy, chapter 47 said, "Thanks, Vicky. I needed that word." Y'all know who that is, don't y'all?
No.
Is that Montgomery?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Hey,
Tell
cousin.
Tammy
Hey, cousin. That's my cousin who is in Mississippi.
Yeah, tell Tammy say hey.
They said, "Hey, Tammy." I don't know if she's still on here. Now, I hope she is. If she is, holla back. Holla at your girl. Let us know. Corey Howell's in the house. Hey, Corey. Corey said, "Hey, y'all. I'm finally in the building." That's our girl, Corey. All right. So, thank you very much, Andrea. Anybody want to speak to that? I forgot to do that with Lutcrecia. I'm sorry. Anybody want to speak to Andrea? Add anything?
Well, I think, I think many people already, you said a lot of it, but we all grieve. We all lost, you know. And when my grandmother died, our family shifted in a very dramatic way. I don't know if you've been around my family a lot, but we do a lot of laughing and a lot of
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
so we constantly tell stories about my grandmother, and even in the midst of the stories, we may start crying and stop and be like, "Oh!" But it keeps her alive, around us, and her spirit and her joyfulness. Then my sister passed, and it was the same thing. We had to adjust, but we just talk about her so much, and again, we may get choked up in a moment. But I think that's a way. I think it's a way of grieving, but also just recycling her to some degree. Just living through those moments. So, and it's one of the things that I think we all have to go through.
Yeah.
So, I think in some ways, I think that it's power in grieving because it's so close to empathy. It's one of the things to help us be empathetic of people's loss. And when you see families that lose people and you lost somebody, it means something. It means something different than it did when you was 12 or 15 and you ain't left,
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
it
think
does.
there's power in it. So God bless you.
Thank you. I think the hardest part of it was not being here. I'm one of those people, I don't like people to die alone. And not that they were alone, it's just that I felt the need to be there and I wasn't there. And that messes with me. That's part of it. It hurts me that I was not here. I had to watch my grandmother's funeral on a computer because it was at the height of COVID. And she didn't die from COVID, but it was at the height of COVID. And, I came home to see my father a week before he died. And, he wanted me to stay and I couldn't stay. And so we're going to stop talking about this so I won't cry a river.
Yes.
Well,
But can I add something though?
sure.
I want to say to my sister, why don't you
Hey,
allow,
Lutcrecia.
why don't you allow, hey babe, but why don't you allow your creativity to help you get through your grief? Use those things together.
Okay, my Cash App is.
I'm in the blessing business, baby.
Hey, put it out there. Put it out
I'm
there.
in the blessing business, baby.
Your Cash App is what?
Put it out there.
Look,
Put it out there.
No, we're serious. What's your Cash
Put it
App?
out there.
Oh, look, I don't even know. It's
Well, get it to her.
You got to be ready.
It's the dollar sign and it's Cookies Baby. Don't you get it automatically with my phone number? See, I thought, look.
No.
If we look it up, yeah.
Cookies Baby, COOKIES, baby.
Yeah.
BABY or BABIE.
BABY.
We got you. So Andrea.
Cookies Baby 42.
All right.
There it is. So yeah,
Cookies Baby 42.
Yes, ma'am. So I do all the crafty things, but yeah, exactly. Because I'm not working right now, it's hard to get supplies and crafts and all that kind of stuff.
So let me say this to you. I think I told you this before, and I know you're in Detroit, but that's okay. Just sometimes you get burnt when you're around the fire. Dominique, who's Essential Recycling, is the president of the Pontiac Regional Chamber. And I'm saying that to you. I know you said you need a job, but I also heard you. I think I heard you saying that you want to do something outside of a job, that you want to really kind of work for yourself. And I'm just saying, stay around because the opportunities and stuff present themselves, and the information presents itself. So you want to be where you are to get. Dominique says, "I am at the table." At the table. So
listen up.
Stay around because what you need is gonna present itself because you've already if you build it, he will come.
Yes, absolutely.
He said, "I'm at the table with the key." He said, "I'm at the table with the key players."
All right, then.
All right.
All
All right,
right.
so we
That's
are
what I'm
moving
talking about.
on. Yes, indeed. Moving on to Brother De Niro in California. Give it to
Hey,
us, brother. Give it to us.
hey. So I'll try not to talk 2,000 miles an hour because y'all know my brain. So I would say for me, 2020 um, was not a bad year for me, but I feel like 2021 is going to be a what's the word, y'all? A flow over into 2021 for me. So I was very, very focused in 21 in terms of knowing for a fact that I was tired of working for anybody. And then one of the shirts that I created, one of the first shirts I created for my store was "Live like a boss and stop thinking like an employee." And
Mm,
that hit me, and I got to the point where I was tired of working up the ladder to get to the top, and to be two more ladders or two more stairs that I didn't know was there. Or, I was getting these report cards as to what I was not good at or what I needed to
come
work
on
on,
now.
all this other stuff. And so I too, little different story, but God had to kick me out of the school district because I wouldn't leave. I was getting screwed with no Vaseline. That's not PG-13, but I hope you understand my point.
That
And
Vaseline
so
ain't PG-13 with no Vaseline ain't PG-13.
so I was taking things, and God had to remind me of who I was. And so my introduction to really looking at things as from an entrepreneur perspective was years ago. But 2020 was a year of, okay, now we get ready to have you do all the stuff we talked about. So um from a perspective of what I want to be intentional for this year is I
Mm-hmm.
want to be intentional in really getting back out there in a multiplicity of ways. I'm like, I think Nova and Lutcrecia might have said this. I've always been that person, like, my plate is full of stuff. Like it's like going to a buffet. You got the chicken, you got all this food,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and it's like, okay, God, I got all this stuff, but I can't eat it all at one time. But I have been really good at doing like a whole bunch of stuff at one time, and then you
Uh-huh.
obviously jack of all trades, master of none. And so what God had me do in 2020, which was amazing for me, is I went back and I restructured. And
Yeah.
so even in my website, you see different components of me, very structured instead of just kind of out there. And so I intentionally in 2020 want to begin to venture out in some of the things that I know I was supposed to do for years now. Definitely a life coach. You guys know that I'm a mentor, a motivational speaker, public speaker, and all of these platforms are now set. My booking is set, and so 2020 allowed me to come back from coaching. Obviously, I resigned before that, but it allowed me time. I've been wanting to podcast. Well, now that is almost 50 episodes later, that's done. And so it's just going to be a continued fallout, a flow over for me from 2020 when God told me to reinvent myself, and He said He was leveling the playing field. And I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I hope y'all catch this in your spirit, that I'm looking at major financial opportunities to open up for me this year. I will receive my first dividends next month from an investment I made last year. And so just in shifting my mind in 2020, a little bit prior to 2020, I'm looking for the overflow, not only in from 2020, but just some of the things that I've sown time, talent, and money into. And so I'm looking for that. So I really believe that this is going to be the year where not only do I venture out into these things that I want to do, but financial things won't even be a worry. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, let me get your sentence. I'm trying to do two or three things at one time. One of De Niro's intentions for year 2021 is to focus. Yeah.
Not even that, because I'm focused. I would say to really, I keep hearing the word overflow, but to flow into what I'm
Okay.
supposed to do. Because I think it's a difference between us putting energy into doing things, but
Mm-hmm.
then just kind of going into what you're either called to do or what the opportunities will end up being. So really just flowing. How about flowing in what's naturally me, if that makes sense? Because I don't need to focus. That I think
Uh-huh.
2020 did that for me,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
And so
Got you. Got it.
now I'm
Okay. So,
pinpointed. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. So you're saying that so your intention is to align yourself. Yeah.
Yes. Manifested destiny. The things that I have spoken
Uh-huh.
about into and actually put a little action. Now, 2021 will be the year that I manifest my
You want to
destiny in these
manifest? Yeah.
areas.
You're
Yeah. That's it.
reaping. You're
Yep.
reaping.
Say again.
He's reaping. He's gathering
Absolutely.
up. That's
Absolutely.
the word. You're
Some
reaping
say
what you sown.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Harvest to
Yes.
Harvest.
to reap the
Yes.
harvest. Yeah,
Yes.
to reap the harvest.
It's
Yes.
good, Lutcrecia.
And
That's
like
good.
Flow
that.
in your anointing while reaping the harvest.
Look,
Yeah.
Minister Lutcrecia, Pastor Lutcrecia done said
Yeah.
it straight.
Yeah.
That's it, because I'm trying to get there. So you're a step ahead of me. And so that's the thing that I'm liking about the connection. It's like you need to see someone in front of you
That's
that
good.
helps you keep going. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Mhm.
That's good.
Because for what you got, you said you restructured. You've restructured. Now
Yeah.
you're ready to reap your harvest.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I'm in focus mode. 2021. 2021. I'm focusing and restructuring. So I want to be behind you.
Absolutely.
Behind you.
And let me say this.
That's good.
I'll be looking at you, bro.
hey, look, hopefully no pressure. Let me say this too. I also had to get to a point, you guys. And this guy's gifting. I can't take credit for what I do, but in terms of just athleticism and some of the things that I do, I naturally do it. And people have been telling me for years, man, why don't you charge for personal training? Why don't you charge for your mentor? Why don't you charge for all this stuff? And I was like, because I don't mind doing it. And something had to be struck in me that you need to know what you're worth so that you get paid for what you work. And so it hit me. And so I'm no longer at a place where I'm not getting paid for what I do. I don't care if it's me baking a cake, run me that $19.95, and not in a bad way, but it's really, I had to realize that I was worth what I bring to the table.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping I'm helping somebody there, because I struggled with that for years.
I'm sure you are.
Yes.
I'm sure you are. So I see several people coming in. So let me just take a break real quick, here before I can do some house stuff. All right. So the first thing is Miss Catherine is in here. Hey, Miss Kathy, how you doing? She is a staunch supporter. I appreciate you. Tracy from Cincinnati is in the house. What's going
What's up,
on,
Tracy?
Trace? What's going on, Trace? Okay. Essential Recycling says send the cash app. Send the cash app. Whose cash app are you asking for, Dominique? Let me know so I can put it in the thing. You make cookies.
For sure.
What? I think he might be in another conversation. You talking about making cookies?
Did you hear me say bacon? Hey.
Yeah. And then here's Corey. My focus is healthy, tasty pork and beef meals. Yeah, they're talking about catering over here. What y'all talking about?
Oh my God.
No, that's a good thing. All right, so let me do this before I forget. There is an event, Dominique, while you over there trying to get your food cooked for next week. Make sure that you also please put in the link for the event that the Pontiac Regional Chamber is doing on the 18th, because some of them might want to. It's going to be a virtual event.
Okay.
And it's going to be great for those of you who are running your own business or want to run your own business. It's going to be free information. No, not free. I don't like the word free. It's going to be a gift for you. Let's say that. Okay. So can you please put that link in there, Dominique, because I don't have it right now. The link for the event on the 18th. In case some of these people want to come. That would be awesome. Trace from Cincinnati, what's going on with you? So that is Dier, because he just said, "What's going on, Uncle D?" Hey, Dier, how you doing?
Oh, that's my nephew.
How you doing?
What's up, nephew? I'm glad he chimed in. I told him to, so that's awesome.
Oh, awesome, good. So, anybody want to station break? I was going to say that. So, listen, thank you all for riding along with us. We appreciate you. We got one more, and then we're going to get into some of that funky stuff. As soon as we get through Sonny, we are moving into Trump's goons. What it really is their motherfucking malfunction? What is your motherfucking malfunction? We're gonna deal with that when we get go through Sonny's intention for this year. While we are taking this break, can you all please do us a favor? Do me a favor. Do me a solid. Share the stream. Please share the stream. And I'm not only talking to the panelists, because they've been helping with that all night. I'm talking to you all out there in the other land. Y'all help me share the stream. Your sister is trying to build her platform. I need you to help me. I need you to help me. I need you to help me build a platform by subscribing if you haven't. Hit that link and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the video. Greedy asses. Y'all sit there and watch 25 videos. What now one? Like the damn video. Do that. Like the video. Subscribe. like, share, and if you're feeling benevolent, and even if you ain't, you can also support the Cash App. It is running along the bottom of the stream right now. That reminds me. So here's the thing. Listen. I got my first support today through Cash App. So I'm like super excited. So she said, "Don't say nothing. It's not a big deal." I said, "But you don't understand. I know that you might think it's small, but there are things that happen in the atmosphere. There are things that break. There are, we have the power to, let me put it like this. Somebody has to be a trailblazer, right? If anything's going to happen, somebody got to go first.
Absolutely.
And typically, when somebody goes first and breaks whatever needs to be broken, whatever stronghold, whatever tightness that is stopping you, whatever blockage is stopping you. Typically, when somebody goes first, it's what happens all the time. Some folks will have no desire or no interest in going through a door unless you make it. Once you make the door, they'll say, "Oh, okay, yeah, I can do that too," or "I will do that too." So I'm going to say thank you to Miss Lutcrecia, because she sent me my first support for the channel today. Thank you, Lutcrecia.
You know what?
I told you I was going to shout you out. Because it means something to me. It means something.
Well, let me tell you what it means to me. Can I tell you what it means to me?
You tell me what it means to you. Tell me what it means.
I gotta tell you what it means to me to help you. Because see, this is where we at. Because we
That's right. Chop it up. Okay.
We gotta do our dance now. We can't make a dance.
I'm gonna get somebody to make me a little bed with that right there.
Yeah, you gotta do that. I mean, but for me, we were on earlier today, and then you were talking about getting everything started and getting everything set or whatever. And so I was kind of going back and forth. And so I'll just say the Lord said to me, Spirit said to me, God said to me, go ahead and sow something to start.
I appreciate it.
With more to come.
See?
Because our connection it just came out of nowhere.
It did. But I'm happy about it. But it didn't come out of nowhere though. It didn't come out of nowhere.
Like that, God puts things out there.
That's why it didn't come out of nowhere. He knows what he's doing.
Happen. But I mean, it feels like it came out of nowhere. And it was just kind of like, okay, we connected. And so it's like I got offline and it was just like God said, sow into it.
Wow.
I said, what? Started out with that. And I mean, that's not the last time. It's not the last time.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's just that thing. We have to be obedient. We have to, when the Spirit moves us to do a thing, you do a thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I mean,
thank you for being obedient.
But I mean, I'm one of them secret givers. I don't like for people to know when I do.
Okay, next time I'm gonna do a hand. I'm gonna do like this one. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna be like this.
Lutcrecia, let's dance.
And y'all gonna know that means that Lutcrecia gave me something else. I'm Nova, Miss Nova Pearl is heading out. She got some other stuff to do. I just want you to know that I'm glad that you came back here today. That's all.
Well, I appreciate being on with you guys, the exercise and everything. It's good to kind of get that out there in the atmosphere. I would love to stay and talk to you guys about Trump and their goons. So maybe next time you get on, I can come on and tell you about how everything was here in DC during the inauguration.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was honestly thinking about going out there just to get some pictures and video and stuff. And
if you got to share them with us.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah, I mean, if I go, I'm going live the whole time, but I don't want to know. I don't want to be out there by myself. I mean,
so you better go about 8 Negroes deep, please.
I do got my pepper gel spray, my taser, and my little switchblade. So
all right, girl.
I do stay ready in these DC streets. Mind you, I live in Southeast. Okay.
Well, if you do, send us the link or something so we can join.
Oh yeah, if I decide to go, I definitely will. Like when they have the march, I made it on stage with where Al Sharpton was speaking, and I was standing by Trayvon Martin's mother. Like the security guard had got frustrated with this other group, so I went ahead and slid by and had got all these pictures, was just all up in the midst. I said, well, if I was crazy, I could have killed all y'all on stage. But I got up there. So yeah, but if I do go, I will let you guys know and go live and stuff like that. It may be fun, but I'm kind of nervous though, because I don't want to run into to none of them people, because they be looking at people from under the stairs, them not normal white folks.
Wow, you're right. You're right.
Somebody made a U-turn. That remember that movie U-turn, them little funny little creatures. Yeah, that's what's coming up here. So
right.
Got to be.
How far are you from the Capitol?
Okay, so I'm actually not close to the Capitol at all. However, where I lived before I moved into this apartment, I was 3 stops away from the Capitol on the metro. Oh, wow. So if I were living in my old neighborhood, I'm pretty sure those people that you guys saw on TV and everything, I would have ran into them like on the trains and all that other stuff. And so I'm not close, which is good, but I'm definitely thinking about going. Definitely.
Well, let us know. Stay safe. Stay safe.
It was so nice meeting you, Nova, and I love your name.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. There's actually a story behind that. I'll tell you that one day. All right, see you guys later.
We're looking forward to it.
All right.
Love you much.
Awesome.
See you soon.
Take care.
All right. So we are moving on to Sonny. Sonny, you ready?
I'm glad you made me last.
Why?
Well, because.
Oh, wait. Stop 1 second. Tammy said, "Hey, y'all." She said she was driving. She couldn't tell y'all earlier. Tammy Montgomery is in the house.
What's up, Tammy?
What's up, Tammy? Long time.
Tammy that's one of my favorite cousins. And let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this right now, and then I'm gonna let Sonny go. Tammy, I'm glad to know that your ass is listening.
Good.
Yep.
I told Tammy years ago. I went home. I think this might have been the same. Was this the same time, Tammy, that I came down there and pulled that gun out on y'all, and everybody hit the ground because my cousin was trying to teach me how to shoot a gun, y'all. I'll tell y'all that later. It's hilarious. It was hilarious. But this is the funniest thing of it. This is the funniest part of it. Out of the whole situation. I remember Tammy saying, and y'all who know Tammy, y'all know how she talk, right?
Right.
Tammy said, Vicky, you trying to kill us. Anyway, I think it was the same trip. I told Tammy then, I said, Tammy is so funny. And she is so knowledgeable. You wouldn't know she was not as knowledgeable because she's so silly. But Tammy is extremely funny, and she has a lot of wisdom. So she's kind of like it's funny though, because I don't even think she's trying to be funny. She just got wonderful timing, and she's just funny, right? But if you pay attention, it's almost like how you see those comedians where they give you something that's hilarious. Dave Chappelle can do this.
Dave Chappelle
give you something hilarious, and you ha 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 ha, and while your mouth is open, you start getting it. You like oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tammy's kind of like that. She's kind of like that. Excuse me 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. This is Zoe, and she ain't home. Give me 1 minute. Hello.
Zoe's ring is James Brown.
Go ahead.
Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Let's go.
I appreciate that. How long do you think y'all gonna be?
We are all into this phone conversation.
Okay,
it's gonna be over in about 30 to 40 minutes.
By 11:30, you should be home, though, right?
30, 40 minutes. Where's she at?
Right, she's in the movie in Detroit, ain't she?
I'm like, where's she at?
And she ain't at the cinema. She down at
11:30.
Look, I'm about to get in these streets if I need to. Don't play.
Yeah, but I don't know what's in the account, so don't.
I will beat other people's children. Did I say that?
Okay.
I take
be
that
careful.
back. I will not beat other.
And we got our clock on too, Vicky. She ain't there in 30, 40 minutes, and we gonna know something.
Okay, I'm
sorry.
Do I need to get on the streets?
Yeah, I'm looking at my watch. She better be there in 30, 40 minutes.
Right.
We heard your whole conversation.
Y'all heard the whole thing? Okay. All right. I had a really good conversation with my teenagers the other day about my lack of lenience. It was interesting. But anyway, I told Tammy a long time ago she should really consider, and I told her she was like, I'm back here in these woods. I said, Tammy, all you need is a computer or a phone. You really should do your own talk show. I'm gonna tell you that again while we talking about intentions for 2021, because it's a damn shame for you to be sitting on all that talent and won't do nothing with it. Okay, I'm done with it. Sonny, you ready?
I'm
You got a word
ready.
for Tammy before you go?
What's up, Tammy? I've known Tammy forever, seemed like, but I haven't seen her in years. And I just want to echo what you said, Vicky. You know, she was always so funny and such a jovial, kind spirit. So do it, girl.
Yeah,
Step on out there and do that thing. Don't trip.
she is
Don't trip.
hilarious. Thank you for sharing, Tracy. I appreciate you. I do. I really appreciate
Tracy
you.
from
Tracy said she shared
Cincinnati.
twice. I appreciate that. Come on, Sonny, give us what you got. What is
Okay,
yours?
so first of all, I think I looked at the wrong text because I thought this had something to do with Jamal Bryant, and I was like,
oh no, it's coming.
"What? Wait,
coming.
not that yet?"
Yeah, it's coming. That's last. We only on the first topic, but this is a heavy
Oh,
topic.
okay. Wait a
This is a heavy
minute.
topic, though.
Okay, and I was like, so when you said intentions for 2021, I was like, oh, okay.
That's why you were glad you was last.
That's what I'm glad for, because I didn't have anything. And you just said something first.
Because you didn't read the notes. You didn't read the notes. Okay, go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
did not. I thought I read it all, but evidently I missed that part. But I guess I would say my intentions for 2021 would be, I think I want to travel more. I think once you've been in the house, cooped up for 2020,
What you say now?
you'd be like, man, I got to get back in them streets for real. But then I also think about the conversation we had maybe last week exactly. And we were talking about the whole, the insurrection, you know, where do we go? You know, and I think it was you, Vicky, who talked about traveling to broaden your worldview. And so, yeah, I want to do that more. I've never been a person who want to live in one place all the time. It would be my dream to live or stay somewhere else for months at a time, have a home base, but travel to other places for periods of time and stay and blah, 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 then come back to your home base for a little while and then go somewhere else for a little while. Just to see what it looks like, what Black folk look like all over the globe.
That's good.
Hell all over the globe based on some other information. But yeah, that's what I think one of my goals is for 2021. So yeah.
Put it in a sentence. One of Sonny's intentions for 2021 is to
travel the world. It's gonna keep it simple.
Travel the world.
Yeah.
Travel the world.
Yeah.
So that is one of Sonny's intentions for what are you going to do to make sure that happens, Sonny? Maybe you can start by going to Gambia with me. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, you going next month though, in 3 weeks. Well, I was supposed to go to South Africa with a group in 2020.
Wrong. No, I'm kidding.
It was right around the time I was supposed to go, and I was so excited because I've always wanted to go to South Africa. It got canceled because of the pandemic, but it looked like it might be back on. So I still got the airline ticket. They still got my money.
That's good. Yeah.
So you know,
when you going?
Last year was scheduled right around my birthday in March. The latter part of March.
Right before the pandemic. Right as we started shutting
down.
It was like a week before we were supposed to go before they said, well, maybe not a week, but anyways, it was like, well, we're not going. What?
Yeah.
Pandemic, right?
Okay, so that'll be the first thing you'll do is go to South Africa. So you already doing something.
Yeah. I got my ticket already, so that's good.
Okay. Awesome.
The group looked like the trip is back on, so that's good. I got my shots where they trying to inspire. I got my malaria pills. My visa is my passport is ready.
Okay.
You know, all I gotta do is get that. Put my cash app on here so I can get enough money to upgrade to first class.
Yes. Yes.
There you go. Put it on.
Also, some. I would love to do some Caribbean places. I would love to go. I've been to. I think I've only been to Barbados and Jamaica, something like that. Anyways, I would like to travel some of those like unknown islands, like Saint Kitts, Saint Neville, some of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See what they over there doing, what Black folk over there doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's good.
Anybody want to add to Sonny's intention?
I would have to echo that. Like, obviously went to Gambia with Vicky last year, but that was the first of hopefully, many times. And once again, pacing yourself, right? And so hopefully entrepreneurially, I'll keep doing some things, but that will stack me or put me in a good position to be able to travel. Maybe once a year would be amazing. But that's the cool part of being my own boss. I don't have to ask for time off.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Let me put this up there. Tracy is a little under the weather, so y'all say a prayer for Tracy.
All
She
right.
says, but she's
Feel
sharing
better,
her
Tracy.
intention with us, though. And I wanted to offer anybody the opportunity to share with us too. We would love to read your intention. Trace from Cincinnati said, one of my intentions for 2021 is to work on overall weight and health, or overall weight and health.
That's
Overall
good.
weight and health. So I got something to help you with weight and health, Tracy, that I'm trying myself. That's that tea we'll talk about at the end, that California Dieters tea, which is this one right here. So I guess we can go ahead and do this and get this out the way because this is quick. It's right. I'm gonna just flow right in here, De Niro. Flow right on in here.
There we go.
So we typically do a tea for wellness, but let me tell y'all about this right here. Have y'all seen this before?
I know about it for sure.
I've seen it somewhere before. That package looked familiar.
Have you used it, De Niro?
To look at it. Yes and no. I'm not. Yeah, no, I haven't, but I know about it.
Okay, so this one is extra strength California Dieters drink. Now it's a tea, right? I'd heard about it, and actually, the person who told me about it was my 13-year-old, because she TikToked out, right, and that's what she saw it on TikTok. But I was getting it, and she showed it to me in the Asian market, and I picked it up. But let me just say this: it is a tea made from senna, and senna has quite a few properties. I didn't make a chart for this, so I can't show you a chart. But let me just say this: it's a dieter's tea. Because this joker will make the toilet your home.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it works, and you can time it, or at least I've been able to time it. I'm gonna tell you this: I started drinking this about a month and a half ago. I went to the doctor, and in a month and a half, I lost 12 pounds.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you do differently besides the tea, or is it just the tea?
Tea. Now, I'm gonna say this though. I did try diet pill for the first half of the month because because the weight that I picked up with this
COVID. Everybody got that COVID weight.
And I'm also going through menopause. So it's a two, So I'm like, I need something to jumpstart that. So the first half of the month I did take a diet pill that I haven't taken before. But then this is what I got on. This stuff right here ain't no joke. So how I take it is Tracy says she gonna look into it. Tea ain't never been for me. Tracy, just put something in it to make it taste good, because I'm telling you, it works. And first I read the reviews right on Amazon, and I was laughing because it's one. I mean, everybody was talking about how powerful it was, but one woman said, I will absolutely suggest this for weight loss. She said, but don't take it unless you want to clean your soul. Man, I was laughing so hard until I started drinking. I was like, my soul has been cleansed. So what I do is, it cleanses so well. A lot of people take it for detox, right? This is Tracy, is California, because there are several kinds and brands, but so I'm gonna tell you what I have. I'm trying to show it to you exactly.
Right there.
So mine is
there.
Evergreen Leaves brand, extra strength, California Dieters drink, no caffeine, herbal tea. It's made from senna. It is senna leaves.
Senna leaves. Yeah.
Senna, right? SENNA. So what I do with it is it's so powerful. I wouldn't drink it every day. I just would not do that. I wouldn't do it because I would think that it would drag all your vitamins and stuff out too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because if you're constantly going,
yeah. So I do it maybe every other day, every 2 or 3 days, because it is very powerful. So what I do is I drink a cup of it about, I like big mugs. So I just put the tea bag in it and I leave it, right? And I might fill it up to maybe here, but I just leave the tea bag. And sometimes, because I like tea, sometimes I'll put more water in it and just do it again with the same bag, right? Don't get another bag. God, don't do that.
I was going to say, is it as potent? Is it as potent when you refill?
Yeah, because the medicine is already in you. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I just add more water, because I do it with regular tea bags anyway. So I usually take it about maybe 10 o'clock at night. By 5:30, 6 o'clock.
You got to go.
I'm like, what? My stomach, what? But listen, when you hear that, you better get your ass up and start moving. Do you hear me? Because if you don't, you'll be like this. Oh, wait a minute. I ain't lying. You You can't drink this stuff and go to the mall. You can't do it. You cannot do it. You have to plan to
Pit
be
stops
home.
the whole time.
Yeah, you got to plan to be home because it's going to make you respect it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Dog.
So
May I add a suggestion on a lighter note as far as that tea? Drink ginger aid kombucha and mix it with your tea. Because of the ginger, I drink ginger aid if that's the flavor, and I drink Synergy kombucha. And if you drink kombucha regularly, it has the same effect without making you bend to its will, if you will, unless you're very sensitive.
Well, hey, if you want to get that shit out of there, literally get that shit out of there. This is.
I mean, that's what kombucha does, but it's the difference between moving your furniture and having somebody move your furniture for you.
I love that analogy. It's awesome.
Why don't think I understand that analogy?
What you say, Sonny? What you say?
I don't think I understand that analogy, huh?
You don't understand it?
Not in the context of what she said. I don't get it.
She said moving your furniture, have somebody moving it for you. This is somebody moving your furniture.
No, that's somebody getting evicted. Okay, that's getting an eviction notice.
Oh, it is an eviction.
Okay, kombucha is somebody you have paid somebody to move your furniture, all your stuff, pack it up. It's like get out. And then if you don't have kombucha, it's like, oh Lord, I got to move all this furniture. It's heavy. It's hard to get it out.
I love it.
So, what kind of furniture?
It's heavy. It's that old furniture.
Should have put some of them things under the
No, it ain't got those things. It's old. It ain't got nothing.
You're like, this furniture has been sitting in this spot so long. There are grooves in my floor.
In the car.
Yeah, you can't vacuum those spots out the carpet. That's that furniture. All that booty weight been on it for how long?
It's hilarious. So Corey and Dominic said, so I've been keeping secrets. I had to make sure it worked first, y'all. It's been about a month and a half. But I had to make sure it worked. Now I'm here to tell you, this shit works. This shit will work your shit. Do you hear me? This shit will work your shit. So, and it was cheap. I think it's like 20 bags, and I think this might have been $4 or something at the Asian grocery store.
Yeah, you got to find the Asian store. You're not going. Yeah, I was gonna say we normally find the Asian stores here. You don't see it.
That's why it's an eviction notice. Eviction notice. You just go down and get the papers, fill them out. They sit on the door. Get out.
It's pretty much an eviction. I agree with you. That's a great analogy too. So, California Dieters Tea. I figure it was perfect timing, especially since we're talking about intentions for the year. So, Tracy, there you go. And my brand is Evergreen Leaves brand. Evergreen Leaves brand. Extra strength California Dieters drink. That's what it says. So, drink up responsibly. All right. So, listen, we are moving on. We did 2 hours on that first topic. That was
my gosh.
Almost. That was not the intention, but that was some good shit.
So, I think it helps some people too.
So yeah, help somebody along the way. If I can help somebody as I travel along the way. All right. So here we go.
This
second one is this right here. Here is our tantrum. I just got a question to ask. And it's very simple. Trump's goons, what is their malfunction? I'm asking y'all, what is their malfunction? In other words, I think I know the answer, but I want to hear y'all talk about this. What the fuck do they have to be angry at? What do they have to be angry at?
Okay. Can I go?
Yes, you can.
Bam.
I gotta change glasses.
I wish I had some wine, girl.
I think I'll add a little something myself. Yes, please.
I
Take
was
it away.
over here. Now I'm going over here.
Might as well. Might as well.
You know what? Next time I am going to do that. I am drinking plenty water, but next time I'm gonna have a glass of wine like you. Lutcrecia.
Yeah, you need to have something.
I had
Okay.
to upgrade. This is getting hot in here.
Okay. Okay. Stay hydrated though. You got to stay hydrated. Anyway, so I thought about this. You know, coming from Colorado, coming from where they told me the KKK moved out to the Plains area and what have you. They told me Boulder, Colorado was racist as all get out, but they're rich and they're white. And I'm like, what? And they're tree huggers. And I'm like, what? It was just crazy. So, and if you watch the Senate hearing about the impeachment and you saw two of the representatives from Colorado, I was like, now that's the Colorado I know. Basically, we're just going to ignore this idiot and say he was just, you know, he didn't intend for them to come and storm the Capitol and what have you. I expected that for them to make excuses for him. But anyway, about a year ago, maybe 2019, I listened to a documentary about the beginnings of the Ku Klux Klan. And I can't remember the players' names, you know, who was the beginning, but the story was basically white men who felt impotent and incompetent using, creating the Klan to get some pseudo confidence and impotency. One man started it, and then when the other men didn't go along with what he said and what he wanted and how he wanted to be the supreme player or the head of it, he betrayed them. And it just played on all of that. I'm not really articulating it very well, but I'll find out the name of it. But it played on all of his insecurities. And I said, is this really about low self-esteem of white men? And it's a building upon that. It is, how do you continuously cannot stand other people when you've had the upper hand in this country from day one?
That's why I said, what the fuck do they have to be angry about, really? What do they have to be angry about? They give them every fucking thing they want.
Right. The dude who with the QAnon dude, he didn't eat, and so now he gets organic meals in jail. Really?
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
Yes. His mommy called because he lives with his mom and said he's not eating because he only eats organic meals. And from what I understand, they got him organic meals. Now, you tell me one black or brown person who has ever said, you know, I'm on a soul food diet.
What
and
do
I
you
can
say
only
now?
eat some ribs and black eyed peas and collard greens and what have you from this particular soul food restaurant. Really? No, that's why it's called jail. It has crap food. But but the issue is white men and their feelings of inadequacy in this country. And it doesn't go away because, you know, it's not going to go away for them. As long as you have people like Idiot 45, who is the king of all impotent men, telling them that they're special and that they're loved.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. As his own niece said, you know, he has so many issues and so many problems. And if you ever heard the story of his family life and how his father treated him and how the family basically coddled him his whole life, he could not stand a day in a rough situation. He wouldn't know how to get through a grocery store and buy, you know, a bag of groceries to make a meal.
No, I believe that. I believe that. Andrea, I had this conversation with my husband yesterday. He has a friend that Tracy had a comment, but let me do this real quick before I go away. Y'all see that comment up there that I have? Tracy said she just ordered the tea from Walmart. She paid $23.71. She did it before I said I paid $4 from these.
Oh my gosh.
That's quite a markup.
I'm so
Right?
sorry.
That's a lot of shipping and that's a lot of shipping and handling, ain't it?
Corey said, cancel it, Tracy. You cancel it fast.
Right.
Cancel it. Yeah, and I know y'all got Asian grocery stores in Cincinnati because I've gone to some of them myself. So yeah, boo.
They got you. Oh.
Okay. Where is the article, Sonny? That's you, right?
That's me.
Where is the article?
I just gave you the link. I just put the link up there.
Where?
Oh, okay. He's gonna put it right there. Trey, Corey. She said shipping was free. It better be.
Wow.
I was trying to help her.
Cancel it.
She got a
Here we
year
go.
supply.
Here's the thing.
Right?
I was talking to my husband the other day, and he said him and he got a friend that's Jewish. He's also a retail guy, but he said the guy came in and he said to him something like, it was hilarious, something like I didn't know, something like this, something to this effect. I think I'm just realizing that they are that the Trump's people are angry at black folks too. He's like, not just Jewish people. he said he was like, yeah. He said, I mean, it just hit me that I think this is really about the fact that they really don't like me and you. I think that's really what it's about. Famar said, yeah, that's pretty much what it's about. He told them they don't like you because you got money. They know you got money. They know you got money. They don't expect me to have money. They don't like me just because I'm black. That's it. And I said, no, that ain't it. I said they don't like. I said they are jealous of them because they have money making abilities. They jealous of you because you got swag, and you got and you got and you got a package. That's really what it's about.
Melanin popping.
They are. I mean, really, this is about. I really do believe this is about exactly that. It all comes down to exactly what you said, Andrea. I do believe they're inadequacies. They're inadequacies. In the same way, and I was talking to Tracy about this earlier, they'll say that we are the minorities. Every time I hear somebody say that, I say, it ain't even possible for us to be the minority in this country. Not black and brown people. It's too many of us and too few of them. That's that they play with words and semantics to get you all screwed up because they want you to believe, right? How you gonna be? First of all, honestly, for the most part, white folks don't have a whole lot of children unless they're hillbillies. If they ain't hillbillies, they don't have they might have.
Why did you say hillbillies?
They don't. They might have 3. That's a big family for white folks. You got 3 kids. That's a big family. But that's not the case with black people, right?
Oh yeah, we do.
And when you say brown people, there are a whole lot of folk that can be mixed up in that. So how in the world could black folk and brown folk be minorities in the country with these folk?
With so many black and brown folks,
right?
And white people who are mixing with these black people.
What you say now?
Okay, because they love a piece of chocolate.
Thank you. But they still try to figure out a way to mind fuck us and make us think that we're the minority, and that, or maybe they think that we don't know that really all of this is about. This is the reason that they love Trump is because Trump has, like you said, he has tapped into their own beliefs, really, right?
Yes.
He's tapped into their own fears and magnified those fears. So if you feel like you dying out, if you feel like you're losing power, right? And some bully steps up and say, I got y'all, because we're getting this together. They are grasping for straws. That's the way I see it.
Absolutely.
They're grasping for the last, this is the last of the Mohicans. I probably should use that as an analogy. But you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Somebody want to speak to that?
Yeah, let me say a couple things.
Wait, Daenerys, 1 second. Let me just read this before you go on. Let me read some of these. Tracy said, she said, can y'all just tell me who stole their country from them?
Oh, good Lord.
Who stole their country from them?
Nobody.
Right. First of all, where is their country?
Well, they're upset because they think someone is taking their country from them.
Where their country at?
Look.
I'm just saying. That's what get me.
Are we talking about original country, or are we talking about where they at now?
I mean, where they at now? Where they country? They don't own shit. It ain't their country.
They stole it. Like they stole it.
Exactly. That's why they don't get that.
You can't tell them that. Hold on. This is the conquered land, so therefore it's theirs. In their minds.
In their mind.
Okay. Well, somebody has something else to say. I'm gonna sip until it's my turn.
Okay, Lutcrecia, I'll jump in. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. She gonna sip. She like she need that drink. I know I need that. Go ahead.
I got something to say.
I might have lost my train of thought, but I would say on one of the notes you mentioned, it's so funny how, like you said, semantics, double talking, a whole bunch of the okie doke that they try to push. I just want to know, how the hell are we the minorities? And if we're so minute and we're so not important, and we're quote unquote 13.4% of the country, why is it always an issue with us as far as voting? Or why is it always an issue as far as us taking the vaccine? And or what about black people? Why do we become a part of a conversation if we don't matter, or if we're the minority, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which once again, if we're not careful what we allow to come into our ear gates, eye gates, then we fall for that okie doke. You know, some stuff, it pisses me off because it's like, I'm looking at news sometimes, I'm thinking, they think we stupid, you know, because of the stuff that it's like, it just don't even make sense. And how are we falling for this? And so, no, very, very, very clearly double talk, very, very trickery with the words. I catch all that. You can't, you know.
Smoke and mirrors.
Absolutely. And we have to be more intellectually aware of what's going on. So I think we all are here. But for those who are out there listening, you can't buy everything. You can't buy everything they sell, because if you do, you'll find yourself in a stupor, right? Yeah. But that's the goal. The goal is to get out there like smoking mirrors, do that double talk and talk a little, around in circles, so that we're not catching what's really going on. And so, the anger in this whole my country bull crap, it's like whatever. At the end of the day, by 2040, white folks are going to be the minority in this country. And the last ditch effort to hold on to power is happening right now. All of this is about power and the fact that the infant mortality rate of birth rate, is gone down. And then you got all these white folks dying from opioids. So they're strategically dying. Yeah, they're strategically dying. And so you got Hispanics that ain't playing. They Catholic. They come in, they got 10 babies, and so brown is reproducing itself. And so everything that we see is the fact that they're saying it's a real clear reality of them being the minority by 24.
Thank you, Dominique. I appreciate that. Y'all don't let me forget that he sent the link for you all to join that live. I mean the event tomorrow night. So I want to make sure I give y'all that before y'all go.
Okay.
Thank you. I agree with that, De Niro, 100%.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. I mean, if you grasp that, that's at least of what's going on. At least of what's going on. All that other stupidity.
And as Corey was saying, black men are, what did she just say? It just went off the grave. Black men are desired, strong, elite, the opposite of white men. I'm not saying that white men can't be strong and elite and desired, but okay, wait. But what I'm saying is you have to look at the African body in respects to during slavery, how we survived. So many of us survived the Middle Passage and then came to this country and still survived off of food that wasn't, we weren't used to eating, and we still survived. We still reproduced. We still stayed strong. And we were, my grandfather was one of 22 children.
Right. Yeah, my grandmother was one of 15.
And they were sharecroppers.
Yeah.
They were sharecroppers.
Yeah.
Come on now. We come from good stock, good, strong stock. Yeah. And if you look at the English or British society, they interbred. It weakened their DNA. And I'm not perpetuating the idea that we are necessarily more physically superior than they are. I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to crush their hopes. Let me put it that way.
Corey said she'll say it.
I was going to say, I'll say it. No, yeah. Genetically. There's some things going on that they lack genetically. That's what it is.
I mean,
We can't put around with it. It's the truth.
I mean,
It's called a recessive gene.
Right.
Okay.
They're
that's what I'm saying. I was saying they can increase it, but when you have these people and we've survived so much torture, literal torture.
Yep.
How dare you say we are lazy? How dare you say we are stupid? We have survived? We have created 5 million things under the sun that you stole from us. Come on now.
See,
With the odds against us, and we still rise. And y'all mad.
That's true. Andrea, I said this too when I was talking to Famara yesterday, and that is, like you said earlier, we can create something out of nothing.
Absolutely.
That's the other thing. I mean, because that's what. How many instances have they taken everything they could possibly get? They're still trying it every way they possibly can. They try to pull from us, to take from us, to annihilate us, but it won't work. We like roaches. We just keep coming back. We just keep coming back, and that alone is pissing them the fuck off, because they like, damn, they don't die, they multiply. Exactly.
Well, let me say this. A good example of that, like I said, the whole work environment. I've watched that stuff happen. Here I am. I come in and just off of looking at stuff. Boom. Hey, here's a problem. We can solve it. Next thing you know, somebody taking credit for something I done gave or put out there. Which I'm good with either way. I'm very secure in myself. But it's like, man, y'all still okie dokie, but that's okay. You ain't did me no favors, because you still can't. You are not me. You might try to reproduce it, but you're gonna be a duplication, a replica of who I am and what I invented, because it's not going to look as good as on you as me. But I've seen it happen in some scenarios. But that's what it is. Once again, how can we take from their creativity? How can we steal from them? But it's the American way. It ain't nothing new under the sun. We just seen it before.
I often think about, I'm gonna say this quickly, I'm gonna let Lutcrecia, because she put that glass down, she's like, she's ready to,
right.
She leaned up a little bit. She got
I know she ready. Now she like, what now? What was said? What was said?
I'm gonna be ready by the time you call me.
I think about how they have done everything they can and still do to pull men out of our homes. I'm just talking about the resilience of Black people.
Absolutely.
Right? And still do to pull the male figure away from us, right?
Yep.
To dismantle our family by starting it. That's where they started, right? Pull that man out of the house. And so for years and years and years, we see where they snatched our heads out of our house, our coverings from out of the house, right?
Yep.
And in the 70s, when they brought on this whole, the whole welfare system,
can't have a man in the house.
They created a way where they could replace him or try to replace him completely, right? So now, what happened is women stepped up and said, well, I got to do this shit. And that's what women did, right? And then and then as we move in toward the 80s, they got our sisters strung out on crack cocaine and shit like that, right?
Yep.
Which also, of course, pull mama out the home, right? She in the street, right? Or in jail, right? Or prostitute, right? And what happened? I know a lot of y'all. I'm not sure if Lutcrecia's had any experience with children. I know y'all have in terms of teaching kids or whatever. How often have you been in a situation where you find Black children and the system don't know, or the system find out 5, 6, 7 months, sometime a year, 2 in, that these children have been taking care of themselves?
Right. Yeah.
I know y'all have experienced that, because I know I have.
Yeah, absolutely.
You find out after the fact, wait, what, your mama wasn't that? Wait, who was your mama?
She was cracked out somewhere. So I fed my brothers and sisters.
Thank you.
I made sure they got up and went to school. I combed their hair. I washed their clothes. I cooked their food.
Exactly. And the child might be.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I.e. the destruction of the Black Panther Party.
I was going to say, let me add this too. Not only did they pull the male out, but then they begin to demasculate the man as well.
Oh, yeah. Come on with it now.
I think they're doing more of that right now. They're doing more breaking now than they ever have in the past.
And think about the industry out here, and I'll throw this in, I'll let you go back. Even in California, you think about the whole acting, that whole thing, man. The things that people would have to do to get in. You know, some dark stuff that goes on with that, and homosexuality and stuff like that. And there's no downplay to whatever, but that's another way. Specifically speaking for the black male, not only did they remove us, but then they start, emasculating us. That's a whole nother ball wax. But once again, trying to annihilate us. Once again,
that is a tremendous whole nother topic. Is I cannot tell you how many commercials, TV shows I have seen. I am so sick of seeing black men in dresses. I'm sick of seeing any man in dresses and dressed like women.
We did that show. Were you on that show that we did? Oh, you need to go back. I had to give you the link. We did a show about that. Was one of the topics. That was a tantrum, and it went wild.
It's just ridiculous.
It's unbelievable.
And then now the thing is to put men in dresses and promote homosexuality. Right. And to now you see all these, and like I said, I have plenty of friends who are in interracial relationships. I don't mind it, but now it's so hard to find a black man and a black woman.
Yeah, you got to watch the show.
In a relationship.
You really got to watch that show.
Yeah.
You really got to watch that show. I'm gonna leave that alone because we can go into an hour.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't want. Yeah, just doing that.
Right.
Lutcrecia.
Wait a minute.
Lutcrecia.
All right.
Speak your peace.
You ain't got no weapons on you right now.
Speak your peace.
Child. First of all,
Oh Lord.
I was taking notes. In this here United of States, y'all need to get the understanding. I think a lot of us already have the understanding that you were not brought here to be a human being. You were brought here to be a work mule.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Girl.
You were brought here to be a work mule.
That's right.
Okay. This is a country that they conquered. Everywhere they go, they conquer, they take it over, and then from pulling from other cultures, because they didn't have any culture of their own.
Absolutely
They
not.
pull from other cultures and they make it their culture, and then they spew it out to you. But we were not brought here to be human beings. We were brought here to be workhorses.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So the game began. So they bring us here, they separate us from our families, send you to different places.
My girl Corey, y'all read that while he's talking.
Well, I'm gonna come back to that. You might
All right,
mind
Corey.
relationships, but
Amen,
black women
Corey.
in this United States might not have another choice if you want to mate. It's getting funny out here, but
That's right.
but back to what I was saying was we were never supposed to have rights. We were never supposed to be anything more than slaves.
Right.
But as time went on and things began to happen and we began to stand up as human beings, now they got to rethink things.
Yeah.
How can we continue to keep them on the substandard level?
Absolutely.
Right?
Right.
And not allow. So we have this false sense of humanity in their eyes.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. We're not equal, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna let you exist. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna control your existence.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to allow you to get but so far in this system, because if I can let a few of y'all get rich, if I can let a few of y'all break the glass ceiling, then I can keep the rest of y'all docile.
Oh, that's real
Right.
No one fights against it because, hey, Oprah made it. Oh, so-and-so made it. Oh, so-and-so made it. It's possible, but is it possible for you? But back to what I was saying, this is their country. They believe that this is their country. This is their stuff. We were supposed to be subdued. We were not supposed to succeed. Every time we attempted to succeed, it was burnt down, broke up. We were hung, we were murdered, we were killed. Anything to keep us ununified, scattered. Anything to keep us from unifying. So as you were saying, you came on up and you started talking about the welfare system, the breaking up of the family. And even now we see black men and black women pitted against each other. I'm out here in these YouTube streets and it's so much hatred. Black men don't like black women. They don't want black women. They want other women. You know, black women are saying we want black men, but they don't want us. So now we going over here too. So here's another thing. If I can take your genetics and break you down, which is the next thing to do. Because we're becoming the minority, but you can't be 100% black and be the minority. We got to break up your DNA and mix you with us. Because if we mix you with us, we can take some of your genetics and take it with our recessive gene, and we can make a whole nother brown
That's right.
person.
That's right.
Mm.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
It keeps us from unifying. So if they can keep us fighting, if they can keep the family broken, and if they can keep us ignorant, then they're still up here and you're still just tolerated. But what has happened
Right.
in this election, we did come together to make something happen.
And they said,
Donald
what the
Trump,
fuck?
Donald Trump was the president. He started this junk when he became president.
Yep.
He found
right.
a group of
Before.
people who felt their country slipping from them,
That's right.
and he started roping them in.
Yep.
Those very fine people on the other side. He's talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see all these black people, they doing this, they doing that. They think they're human. They think they got rights. They think they should be here. That's not what it's supposed to be. We got to do something about this situation.
Uh-huh.
Let's
And it
make
kept
America
escalating and escalating and escalating and escalating up until now we got a whole siege of the Capitol.
Yep.
We scared as all get out for this inauguration because they see that their situation, their way of life is being shaken up right now.
That's right.
We're more awake right now than we have ever been.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
We are
But
not
the
our
thing
ancestors.
about it is, I'm gonna go back to what I said last time. We as black people, we didn't do it,
That's right.
but they willing to go there
Yeah.
because this is their stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
At least
the
that's where they
question-
see it.
Question is, what are we gonna do? Because they willing to take the fight to the street. What
We know where you willing to take it.
You're gonna have to. You're
Look
gonna
at
have
her pick up that glass of wine. Like, I'm gonna take a sip on that.
to. So let me add something to what you just said, Lutcrecia. When you talk about the fact that we were let me just put it like this. They would have absolutely no problem with us. You're absolutely right. As long as we remain servants and as long as we follow the rules of their game. Right?
remain docile?
That's right. As long as we remain docile. So here's what I think going forward. I do think that, and I do think there has to be a collective thing, but I don't want to go too off, but I do want to say this. I call this acronym, I call it BIO, right? We have been, in our minds, we have been conditioned in this country to be the workforce, right? Whether it was slavery, whether it's in some slave camp, whether it's in the prison, or whether it's in the workforce. We are conditioned. We have been conditioned to be the workforce, any way it comes. And so that's why, and I hope y'all hear my heart when I say this too, because I'm not trying to down anybody. But I think that we need to come into this understanding that we have been brought to this country only as a black workforce, and if you try to do anything different, that's a problem, right? That's a problem. That's why there are so many things put in place for them to aspire in business and other opportunity, but not for us, right? We're just getting a little piece of something as we're talking about this pandemic stuff. But if they had their way, they would keep us down by keeping that ceiling over us and making sure that we never had an opportunity to really move on to success, right? But what we have to understand is the only way that we are really going to get the things that we want is bio, right? Business, investment, and ownership.
Absolutely.
Black people have got to come to an understanding that the only way that we are going to come out of and really get really flourish in the things that we want for our life and the kind of lives that we're going to live and want to live is that we move in the area of business, investment, and ownership. It cannot be, I'm looking for another job. I got to find another job. I need another job. No, because the thing is, the job puts you in, first of all, puts you in their camp for them to do whatever the fuck they want to do with you. That's the first thing. But the second thing is, a job is set up so, well, they call it just over broke, but a job is set up so that you're going to function on this wheel. They're going to take all your time. They're going to take as much of their time as they possibly can. If they can bully you into taking longer than 8-hour shifts, they're going to do that. If they can bully you into working your weekends, they're going to do that. If they can bully you into working the holidays, they're going to do that. And then threaten your job and threaten your insurance and all of that kind of shit, right? And they know that as much as they're as much of your time as they can take, and as much of your energy as they can pull, and as much as your being that they can suck up, the less energy you're going to have, or brain power you're going to have to really create something for yourself that's going to really sustain you and your family. They fucking know that. That's why the system is set up in that way, where you're on a rat race. You can't get off that wheel. They're not going to let you off. They won't let you off. The only way you're going to get off is to jump your ass off of there and be like, I'm out this piece. Please. If you don't do that, they're not going to slow the ride down and be like, okay, like they do at Cedar Point. They ain't going to do that. They're not going to slow down the ride and be like, okay, watch your step, come on down. No. When they slow down because there's a malfunction and they see you trying to get out, they be like this, crank it up, crank it up. So any way we can, anything we can do to support each other, I do believe the only way we are going to come out of this hole is to come out together and to come out supporting each other and making sure that we can support each other and whatever our dreams, visions, talent, and skill is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Let me read something real quick. Corey is saying, Tyrone Thornton. Hello, Tyrone.
And that's
How are
my
you?
cousin.
Welcome to the
That's from
ride.
the GA.
Oh, welcome, Tyrone. Tyrone says we came together like no other time in history for this election. Absolutely right, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, I want to jump in a little bit. I was about to fall asleep.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, sir. All right. Who want to add to that?
I want to add to, not to Tyrone's thing, but you're right.
Tyron.
Let me say this, that I think we do need to
Andrea, we're on our way.
Oh, you want to say something to Andrea?
No,
you go ahead, Sonny.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think we in a serious trick bag. I think bigger than we think. Right? I think that today, the election, what happened at the White House, I hope, was an insight so we can see how deep white supremacy is.
No, so they can see. We already know.
I don't know that we know that.
I don't know either.
I think we keep saying that, but then we shocked when stuff happens, and we keep part of our problem is about what we need to do is, I don't know if we even know how to get out of what we're talking about, and the tools that we want to use to emancipate ourselves are really tools that they gave us. Right?
How so? Which, like what?
Let me start off by saying this. I'm an entrepreneur too. I do comedy, I do storytelling. I believe in entrepreneurship. But I do know that somebody can throw a wrinkle in that just like they can at a company. I can work for JCPenney, I can own my own business, and somebody can throw a wrinkle in that. I ain't never worked as hard as I did as an entrepreneur at somebody's job. Right? So being an entrepreneur is hard, it's difficult. I do it. And I love it. All I need is one big piece of bad press.
Yep.
Right.
And I'm over.
Yep.
And you're canceled.
Unless your community, and that
go to my point. That's what I'm talking about. Our mindset needs to be different. It ain't just our economics. To be honest with you, we got enough money to really deal with our economical problem.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely right.
But if our mindset is so much like white people, we're not going to do the stuff to talk about liberation. Black people don't get money overall. Black people don't get money to share with other black people. That's not what they do.
No, it's not.
So
you're absolutely
right.
We
want to figure out how to get out of this using the tools that we saw left in the backyard that Mr. left. But I'm not sure if those tools are capable of doing it. So I'm going to use an example, the education system. I believe the education system is screwed, it's jacked up.
Oh, yes.
It needs to be decapitated, imploded, exploded, and start all over. But whenever they talk about the system, to look at it, to evaluate it, to reimagine it, what do? They go get people who are super vested in the education system. People who are doctors, people who've been in school for 22 years. Those people are going to rely on what they learn in school. That's not going to be to dismantle school.
Right.
That don't work. What we need to do is go back and figure out, well, how did we learn before we went to school?
Yeah.
Right? How did we learn how to heal ourselves before we went to doctors?
Yeah, it's good.
Right?
Yep.
So we can't
Yep.
use their models and think that those models that they give us or that they created is going to emancipate us. Because a lot of those models, they need slaves. They, you know what I'm saying? So if I start a business, then what I find myself doing, you look at Michael Jordan, is I'm going to oppress another group of people. They may not be black people, they may be brown people, but to get up, to get over, to be rich in a capitalistic system, I'm going to take advantage of more minority people who don't have a way to speak up for themselves. I'm going to bully them. I'm going to take advantage of the fact that they don't have no voice, whether they be women or children. That's how capitalism works. Now, people get mad about it, but at the core, that's what it, buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
But we can't use that and think that's going to free us. It will free us individually. You can be a rich black woman who don't have to worry about this. You can be a rich black man who don't have to worry about this. But you're not going to be a part of no
Community.
You're not going to be a part of that.
Go back to your roots, Sonny. Go back to your roots.
Go back to, if we can. We got to be careful to make sure that our roots is really what we're talking about. But we do need to really do some reinvestment, some rethinking, some reimagining of what it could be like to be successful, whatever that means. And for everybody, that might not be about being rich.
But you can't.
Huh?
I'm tapping in.
Speak your piece.
I can't understand.
Speak your piece.
Okay. Tapping in on what Vicky just said. Going back to your roots. I mean, how did we learn before? How did we do it before? How did we make it as an enslaved African into this new land, new country, and still learn to read and write? We did it off of their system of learning. But
are you talking about
no,
before enslavement?
We didn't do it.
No. I'm saying, okay, we're going back to the motherland.
Well, I'm saying that
it was community. It was community, but we still had community here. We still had community here. That's just been broken down, and now everybody. How is it?
I don't think it's been broken down. I think that
yes, it has, Sonny. When you sit up here, and you have children,
right here, Andrea. This is a community that you're a part of right here. You said it yourself.
Okay, we all.
People on here. We just had some people. Let me finish. We just had a bunch of people ask you for your Cash App. If this is not a community,
let me check it. I
don't know if they did it, but I'm saying that this is a community. Is there 1,000 people on here? No. But it's a group of people who care about your well-being and your success, who will challenge you, who will pressure you, who will pour into you. That is a community. And we've always had that. We've always had it. The narrative is that we can't work together. We don't want to do this. That's not true. That's my point. That is my point. Where are these narratives coming from? Where are these truncated narratives coming from? We got to get rid of that inside of ourselves. And if we don't, we can't use that to build nothing. All we're going to do is reduplicate what white people done.
Okay.
That's all we've been doing.
So can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah, of course.
So do you think that segregation, segregation, do you think that helped us or harmed us? If I go back to what Sonny is saying, the integration, because that was the big thing. We want to be in the society.
The worst thing that ever happened to the Black community.
Yeah.
And my next question is this. Because everybody's talking about reparations.
You say that. I do think it was the worst thing that happened to the Black community. But like most things, we were asking a group of people to share power with us who had no intention of sharing power. Right?
Exactly.
So what they did, if you playing checkers with a person who can make up the rules and change the rules as they go, if you think in your mind that you're gonna win at checkers, you are highly naive.
And they have us thinking that we can win too.
We didn't necessarily want integration. We wanted the end of segregation. But when you control the chip, you can say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna give you this." Move you into some white schools, in the right neighborhood, and then what all the white people do? Moved out.
That's right.
But we couldn't move to. Now we in the exact same situation.
Yep.
Okay.
Right?
And they moving back.
Yeah. And the next part of the next part of my question is, so since that was so wrong, so here's the next thing, because everybody's talking about reparations. So if they were to turn around and give us reparations, kind of like they doing these stimulus checks, who's gonna end up with that money?
Nike.
Girl.
Who's gonna
Louis
end up with
Vuitton.
that?
That's my
If
point.
they give us
Jewelry
reparations
store.
with our current mindset, who's gonna get the money? That's why I don't know why they fighting it.
The people making the fake Michael Kors, the fake
Why they
Gucci.
fight it? They fight it because they want Nike. What are you talking about?
Wait a minute, hang on. Say who?
Some Coors.
I don't know why they fight
45.
reparations, because they're gonna end up with the money anyway. We're gonna turn around and give it right back to them.
Absolutely.
Well, let me say this. I'm gonna be the devil advocate today.
I'm gonna have some property.
Or I'm gonna take my money and put it in a bank that do the same thing to me. That nickel and dime me to get my own money.
What'd you say?
What are you talking about? This is the
But
hustle.
see, that's your mindset.
$1,000 put it in the bank, but then when I want to go get the money back, I got to pay $2 at the ATM to take a loan out on the money that belonged to me.
Right, but see, that's your mindset. But that's not all Black people's mindsets, because we are the biggest. We make a lot of money.
I'm just saying the hustle is the hustle. The hustle
Wait.
is the hustle. It don't make no difference whether it's Michael Kors hustle you or Chase.
Yeah.
Chase
Right.
out 2% loans in Black communities. You got to go. They just did a boycott at a bank not too far from me. Tried to close it down. Why? They not loaning Black. This our money, and you still won't loan money. But even if you take your money and put it in the bank, you still gonna get hustled. You still gonna get played.
I watched
hear that because the financial thing is to put your money in the bank and to invest. We saw what happened with that with the housing industry. And you got a house and it's underwater. Yep. And what you gonna do with that? And then you flip around, somebody buy for $11,000 who's been in your house for 25 years. Really?
That's why I'm going to buy property in another country, preferably Africa.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I feel you.
Hey, I don't mind leaving. Let's go.
All of these institutions that we are so devoted to, home ownership, education, we need to really stop and take a look at them and say,
how does it work for you?
Do this work for me?
Right.
And if it don't, then we need to check out of it. And if it do, then we need to use it in a way that it helps us and our community, and quit just blindly following a set of rules that clearly by now we should be convinced that these rules is not set up for us.
Okay, but Sonny, my point is that we can't get past paying in installments for a weave.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
I get what you're saying, Andrea, but what I'm also saying is my friend she didn't just buy a house, which is a term that's not even.
It don't even make sense.
You can't own a house because you can lose it for taxes.
Right.
1 year taxes.
1 year
taxes.
Exactly. But she told me by the time she bought this house, by the time she finished paying for this house, she done bought it 6 times. So let's not act like a girl who buying weed and another person who buying a house in Country Club Hills ain't still getting screwed by a system that don't work for them.
That's right.
Okay.
And if that means and I'm not missing home ownership. Please hear me, because I get escrow, I get that. But if we look at all of these systems, we'll realize that Negroes who think that they so much smarter than these people who ban weed, they still getting played.
That's true.
Yep.
Okay.
Just on another level.
Let's just say it's a better investment to do it in the house than in some yucky hair. Let's just say that.
Well, I'm saying it's a better investment for you. But if I don't got the money to even buy no house, why not look good?
Right, but
because you rolling up to a shack in the hood with your Gucci, your weave, and all that you don't own.
I'm not saying I agree with it. What I am saying is that the systems that we think that we build, they don't own no property. Them people own property. It's still, I know this guy who owns 6 or 7 properties throughout the city, and he white, $300,000-$400,000 in debt. And then try to talk me into buying a house. I'm not buying no property with you. And this was right after the crash. I'm like, is you out your man? But he can't let that go. He can't let it go.
Okay. Here's the thing. How about, I don't know, maybe Vicky can speak to this.
$1,000 in student loans with a bachelor's degree. Really?
Hey.
Really? I'm not trying to dog nobody. I'm saying, really, what is we doing?
It's the okie doke, Sonny. It's the okie doke. Period.
It is the okie doke.
Whether we's a buying a bachelor's degree.
I don't know. Do y'all know about that? I don't know what they call it. They call it different in different African cultures. But when everybody pools their money and then each month they get one person.
Group economics.
Yep.
Group economics. And so that's how a lot of Africans and Caribbean people, they come here and
Asians do it too. A lot of Asians do it. That's how they get over here and start businesses.
And they don't have to borrow money from banks and whatnot. They don't get debt.
Right.
So I tried that with $5 with a group of Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't even get the first rotation out.
Mm.
Not everybody contributed. And I'm like, come on, community. $5?
Wow. Sonny, I just want to speak a little bit on what you just said a minute ago in terms of, our mindset, right? And I think Corey said earlier, we need to change our mindset. It's a paradigm shift for real.
This stuff is outside our mind. That's what I'm saying. It's not in our mind. Our mind has been inundated. Wait. Let me say this. This is what I mean by that.
Okay.
It may be in our spirit, but it's not in our mind. Our mind has been indoctrinated with education since we were little kids. And that is not going to get... People don't teach slaves how to be free.
Nope.
Low on no end. Never. That don't... Then you ain't really no slave. Now, I do believe that it's in our spirit. It's in our gut to figure this out. But that contrasts with our mind because it don't make sense. And that's how white people think. But African people don't think like that.
Yeah.
They'll tell you about the third eye, their gut, their intuition. Those are the things that really drive us. But if you got to go to the bank and make sense of it, show me a business plan. Then you might not be able to get the loan. Okay, so I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let you talk. I'll cut you off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do think that you're absolutely right. It's complete indoctrination. When you said that it's not in our minds, what I was gonna say is, but I think it is, not in everybody's, but it is situations like this where this stuff comes up, right? Because there are people that are critically thinking, right? That are sitting around thinking, wait a minute,
Yes.
why? Because here's the thing, like you say, we are spiritual beings. So in this area of how we live, how we breathe, and how we function, God can give us information about that too, if we're open to it. And I think he does, filter a little bit when you open yourself up and you're open to the truth, what the truth is. You ask him for the truth and what the truth is.
He will set you free.
He will. There will be opportunities for you to learn, so I think this is one way, to get folk on the trail. Another way, of course, I think that we need to start talking to people as young as we possibly can about this kind of stuff. Because to teach our babies how to think critically, when they get to be our age, they've been a lot further along than we are.
That's the goal. That should be the goal.
Yeah, I had let me just say one thing. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, I had Saeed watch something the Lord made with me. So we watched something the Lord made. When it came to the part where, I can't think of his name now. Vivian. When Vivian went to the bank, it was after the crash, the market crash. He go to the bank and they said, "We don't have your money." So I couldn't fathom that. She said, "What do you mean they don't have their money? What they don't have his money? Where's money at?" I said, "They don't have it. Stock market crash." Mom, what that mean? Why didn't he put his money in there? I said, "Yeah, he put his money in there." Well, then why don't they have his money? I said, "They don't have his money." So I explained to her what that meant. Why is it that they don't have the money, right? And how it works when you put your money in the bank. And the fact that they gamble with your money when you put it in the bank.
Pretty much.
And if you take it out earlier than they ask you to take it out, they make you take your own money.
Penalties.
My baby was looking at me like I lost my mind. She said, "Wait, what?" She made me explain that again. She said, "So why would anybody put their money in the bank? That don't make no sense."
Exactly.
She said, "Why don't you just save your own money? You don't need to pay nobody to save your money."
Okay.
See here. Well, she catching it, ain't she?
I said, "Oh, it makes sense to me."
I said, "Let's go."
That's why mom don't have the money. Makes sense to me.
Hey,
I'm gonna
say a couple things, or can I say a couple things? So, number one, it's something to be said about, I can use my grandfather, who was he was a self-made man in Mississippi, who when he passed away, it was money and mattresses and under the floor panels and change everywhere, whatever. So something about the mindset of saving back then, but it's something to be said about that now, right?
Absolutely.
Because of what you just said, we get penalized for taking our own money. I've never been a pro bank dude for years now. It's credit unions, and even with that, it's still some stuff there. But the shift in our thinking. But from an educational perspective, one of the main reasons I pulled away from education is because I started watching. We went from I call it no teacher left standing to leave everybody behind, because it literally stopped the kids from critically thinking. My punishment for my nephews when I raised them was crossword puzzles, because it made them think. And so when you say we got to go back and we need to teach our kids how to critically think, I've said this to everybody I know, especially the Black community. I'm not expecting education.
Y'all be right back.
All right. I'm not expecting the education system to teach nobody that I'm raising at all, period. That's the biggest mistake we make, because they're not, once again, like Sonny said, they're going to indoctrinate, right? So it's incumbent upon us to teach the younger generations to, number one, think outside of the box. But at the same time, there has to be a paradigm shift in our thinking in order to be able to hand that down. So, I mean, once again, conversations like this, like-minded people, like-minded individuals, people who think outside of the box, can allow that, can usher an opportunity for these conversations to be had. But paradigm shifting is literally what we have to do, because we have been so inundated with just garbage, garbage in, garbage out. I've long not understood, hey, work your butt, work till retire and die. I checked out of that agreement a long time ago. That has never been something I wanted to do. And I think that goes back to what's been, like Sonny said, what was in my spirit and what began to seep into my mind. And my intellect started saying, that's stupid. You know what I mean? And so critically thinking has to start with us. But at the same time, we start challenging these young people, not expecting the system to do anything other than what it's designed to do. So.
I agree. I think I agree with you too, Sonny. I think I'm just discouraged by the community and how we don't seem to want to critically think beyond. It's a struggle sometimes in certain situations for me to decide to go outside the box of what we've grown up on, of what my parents grew up on. But I look at the communities of Black Wall Street, Black Bottom in Detroit, and how these communities thrive within themselves and sustain themselves without that help. And every single time they get destroyed, but because of, like you said, Sonny, their institutions and their ways of administering this education and knowledge of things. So, as we go into 2021 and we're thinking about the future, I don't want to get into a tangent, but it's kind of like how we're looking at the political outlook for African American people and people of color. Everybody got on board 3 months before the election and said, we need to have another choice and this, that, and the other. I was like, outside of Kamala Harris and Biden, who else do you have in mind that can step in right now? There's nobody. So now that they're in and you want something different in the future, start looking now. Don't wait till 6 months, a year, not even 2 years before the next election and then complain all the way up to the poll. Just complain. We need to start critically thinking and thinking outside the box, if you will, for something different. And I don't know if it was on the fireside chat where we said, someone said, they're willing to possibly leave the country in order to get outside of the box that was created for us. Was that you, Vicky?
I don't know if it was me or not. I don't remember, but I know one thing. I know that there are principalities that cover certain areas.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I know that, everybody don't see it like that. But I'm gonna say this: that when you travel to different areas, there are different ruling There are different things that rule in that area, and sometimes you need to get out where you are so you can break something, so that
Yep.
I don't think people realize that, or some people don't realize that your physical movement is important. It's important. It means
Very,
it. Yeah, it's important. It's not.
very important.
Sometimes it starts in your mind, but it takes that outward action to make something actually happen.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna say I could see why somebody would make a change elsewhere rather than where they've been stagnated before. Um, I'm gonna read this from Miss Kathy. Miss Kathy said, "Do you think we've been spooked because of what has happened and what has happened in Black Wall Street and other times that we've come together?"
I think it would. I would have to say yes to that, and maybe it's not even consciously. Maybe it's a subconscious thing. But there's no way. I don't think anybody could look at that type of success and in the back of your head say, well, every time we prospered, they burned it to the ground, or every time we prospered, they implanted a modern day symbol to destroy from the inside out. I don't know that it. I would say that I think it has stagnated us, but once again, I hate the cliche term, but I'm using it. I think there are a lot more people that are aware, awake, and really cognizant of what's going on now, to where I think we can move past that. But once again, we can't do it by ourselves. We have to do it as a collective unit, which means like-minded people must come together. And I know we're there. I know we're there. I mean, several other groups outside of this that I'm watching things happen. But that's a really good question. But I would have to say yes. I mean, why would What's up, Lutcrecia?
I'm looking at what Tracy said right down there.
Right.
My husband said that when the first checks went out, all he delivered. He's a UPS man. She said, my husband said when the first checks went out, all he delivered was Fashion Nova for months.
Oh my
God!
Exactly, and that's what I was.
Reparations.
And that's what I was trying to say about the reparations, and she brought it back to what I was trying to say.
That.
Even if they were to give us the reparations, and people had all this money, that's why I said I don't understand why they challenge it, because they're gonna end up getting the money back anyway. Because a lot of us don't have the mindset of building.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They want the Nikes, the Jordans, the all these name brand things. These going to the car lot buying these cars with 100,000 miles on it at 23.4% interest on the payment.
And they're getting $2,000 rims.
Yeah, we're not in the mindset. Not all of us are in that mindset to create wealth or to hold on wealth. We're the largest consumers. I think there was something that was out, and I wish I had it right now, that was talking about how long a dollar lasts in a Black household versus in other households. They hold money longer than we do. We get money, we spend it, we going through it. We
it's
make
like
it
2
rain
rotations.
I think I want to say one, Andrea, because I know that because that was broken down to the Jewish community, that was broken down to the Asian community, Hispanic community, and like some community, I think Jewish like 12 times it circulates within the community before it ever leaves. Ours is like 1 or 2.
Right. I don't think that much.
I think the Jewish community was like 24, maybe even 40. It was a large rotation in the Jewish community.
We are consumers.
And that was my point basically, is that we are such consumers. We can't seem to get into the mindset of, hey, we got these reparations. Why don't we pool together and end up buying a bunch of property? At least do something like that. Build on that property, make profit from that property, build homes, do, good things for your community. And I like what Corey said. Our mind should be led by the Spirit, not propaganda that we've accepted.
Absolutely.
And another thing, if I may add, we as Black people do not understand the concept of generational wealth.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Think about it. We didn't have a grandmother that knew about portfolios, that had money and different things. Actually, although I had an auntie who died rich, it was crazy. My great aunt, one of my grandmother's sisters, somebody got a hold of her years ago. And I know Sonny talked a little bit about the stocks, but whatever my auntie did, it set her up for life. She was buying stuff cash. And I'm not saying I'm not against that, but at the same time, it is what it is. But we haven't been taught that. We didn't have somebody to teach us what a portfolio looks like, or what this looks like, or that we didn't have anybody, because we never had nothing. And so
we never had anybody to teach us about credit.
Right.
Here's the other thing.
That's one of the things I do now with people. Go ahead.
That's why it's important for us. I was going to say, when we have some information to share it, because a lot of times what happens in our community is people know something I got some kinfolk too that were into the stock market. They didn't tell us nothing about it. They
It's
just
crazy.
live
How my auntie
and let
was.
us
Yeah.
see. Just see what they're doing, so we can all gawk and awe and
Be at
invite you
all.
over to their house so you can be like, wow. But they don't tell you how they
Mhm.
got it. That's bullshit.
That's crab barrel.
That's
That crab
bullshit.
barrel mentality. Yeah.
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 Let me put this up, and then we're gonna move on to the final piece. And this is from Tracy. So Tracy said, "So are we not telling our kids? Are we not telling our kids to go to college, to get a job, live happy ever after anymore? What are we telling our kids then?"
I'm teaching. I'm telling the young people, especially the ones that I have direct influence is,
Mm-hmm.
live like a boss. Stop thinking like an employee. So if I got to put some in your hands at 12, where you like being on video games, okay, we gonna monetize that. Yeah, you might want to go to college, but when you get there, you ain't gonna have to pay for it because you gonna make money at 12 because you done been on YouTube monetizing what you do. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm shifting the thinking. I'm telling them think like an entrepreneur. And so I ain't trying to tell nobody what to do with their kids. I'm just telling you what I did. It was student loan debt and a whole bunch of other stuff. So no. If listen, everybody ain't college material. Let me say that number one. Number two,
That is true.
think like an entrepreneur. How can you sell Kool-Aid on the corner? You like cooking? Can you bake some cookies and sell them? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking.
Tracy, I had a very similar conversation with my children, and especially Zoe was like, "Wait, what did you just say?" But I had a very similar conversation. I told her that 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I know I would have told you something totally different. But then I'm telling you now. But now I'm telling you that you have an option, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to go to college. That's what they
Right.
told. That's one of those things that we were indoctrinated with. That
Yep.
Sonny was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
They
It was
told
always
us,
when you go to school. When you go to
yeah,
school.
they told us that you had to go to college because you want to get an education and you want to be able to get the job you wanted. There we go again. Get the job. Get the
Yep.
job I
Yep.
want.
Work
You
for
want
somebody.
to. I remember I was watching this movie, and I'm sure that you ever watched it. It had to do with, I think it was the one. It was. It was the one when the guy who created Facebook, they were
Oh
talking about his
wow.
life. That movie. And I will never forget. I don't know exactly how it was said, but I'll never forget that when he created it, it caused such havoc on the campus. They sent him to
Yep.
the dean's office. And when he got to the dean's office, the dean said they wanted him to kick him out. And he said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And they said, "You're not going to expel him? He did this and he did that." And they were just talking about how much of havoc, the original Facebook created on campus. And the guy basically said to the professor that wanted to see him ousted, "That's what we bring students to Harvard and Yale for.
4. Mm-hmm.
We bring them to Harvard and Yale to create, to problem solve, and to be creators. We don't bring them here to teach them how to follow instruction."
Yeah, that was powerful.
That's
Yeah, that was.
basically what he said.
Yeah, I
And
remember
when
that.
he said that, I got to thinking. I thought, damn, that's another indication of the fact that this motherfucker is rigged.
Mm.
It's rigged on so many levels that you have to really, when we get out of beds in the morning, we need to be praying for clarity. The
Yeah.
moment you get out the bed, because we wake up, our children are born into this sham, because that's what it is. It's a sham.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sham. It's a complete. It's smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
smoke and mirrors. So to go back to what you said, Tracy, yes, I changed. I started having conversations with my children about this. I said, if you really want to go to school, I guess you really could, but I just want you to know that it is not absolutely necessary that you do. Now you got to be productive, that's for sure.
Mhm.
And you got to get some guidance in what you want to do. And if I can help you, I'll do it. If I can't help you, I'll find somebody. But you don't necessarily have to go to school, because I can't pay for you to go to college. I can't do it. Not, at least not right now. I can't. Right. So your only option
Student loan.
at the moment is to do what I did. I don't want you to do that. And I also know, though, here's the other piece. I also know that it's not absolutely necessary like I thought it was before. I know it's not. It's necessary if you don't go and let somebody control your life for the rest of your life. It is. But it's not necessary if you're willing to toe your own road. If you really want freedom, it's not necessary. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like De Niro said, the opportunity to be able to kind of set my own schedule and do it out. Yeah, you can't do that when you work with somebody else. They tell you better
Nope.
get your ass in there at 9 o'clock. It's 9:01. I'm gonna have to dock. I'm gonna have to write you up.
Write
You're
you
gonna have to
up.
go to the human resources because you've been. I mean, when I was in Atlanta public school, y'all know I always had an issue with time, always. But I bet I got that shit together in Atlanta because they was riding me like a horse. Do you hear me? I was like, what is this? I'm not. What are you, a jockey? I don't understand what's going on. What is happening? Right? It got so bad. And when I left. I often say this because I am proud to say that because I know that there's a standard and it means something to people, right? When I left Atlanta, I did leave Teacher of the Year. But I'm gonna tell you
All
this:
right.
when that same year, the same year that I left Teacher of the Year, I got written up because listen to this. I got written up because I was late for 4 days in a semester for a total of 8 minutes. Altogether, 8 minutes.
All minutes.
2
Wow.
minutes one day, 1 minute one day. I got written up for that. When we got to that final evaluation of the year, let me just say this little piece too, but I'm just gonna tell you how indignant I got. That's when I realized I don't need this shit. I don't need this shit. Right? We got to the place where we're in the last evaluation. That last evaluation, the principal didn't do her job because they all when you working in the school system. I'm sure this is other places too. I just know about what I know. You working in the school system, everything rolling downhill. Everything, nobody wants to
Yep.
be responsible for nothing. And
Yep.
anywhere they can place the blame, that's what they're gonna do it. And if you're a teacher, you just about at the bottom of the rung. Ain't nobody beneath you except the maintenance man. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And if he and
Mm-hmm.
if he cocky enough, he ain't gonna be beneath you either because he gonna be fucking the principal. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Layla Millen.
if if that's not the case, you're gonna be at the bottom of the run. So all the shit roll downhill.
She right.
And I remember that, mind you, I am Teacher of the Year. During the time that the entire time I was in Atlanta Public Schools, which was 2009 to 13, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. 09 to 13. The entire time I was there during the biggest investigation for testing scandal that they'd ever seen in their
Oh
lives.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
humongous, but I didn't know that when I went. I didn't know that. When I walked on the scene, I got there when they were investigating a total of, I think it was 50 something teachers and principals or what have you for testing for standard and testing
It's giving the kids the
mayhem.
answers to the ACTs and SATs and stuff, right?
Oh, they were having what they were calling them. What did they call it? It was a party. It was some kind of party. They called it something like a marking party, where they literally had parties. The liquor was flowing. I heard the stories after I got there. The liquor was flowing. The ribs were brought in by them juicy boys that do them ribs in Atlanta. I mean, they were parties, right? And they had parties set up where they actually changed grades. And if
Oh,
your
wow.
kid, it was horrible. And if your kids got a certain grade and you got the trip to the Bahamas,
Yep.
it was
wow.
horrible.
Yeah.
I heard
Yeah.
stories from the teachers and from the kids that would say to me by the time they got to me, Mr. Ray, I don't know this stuff. We didn't learn nothing last year. I said, what do you mean you learned nothing? My teacher gave us all the answers. She never taught us anything. What do you mean she gave you all the answers?
Wow.
She gave us all the answers because we had to make sure that the testing stuff was right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All across Atlanta Public School. When I left in 13, that was the same year. The year I came, they started investigating. The year I left was the year they wanted to put teachers in school for 30 and 40 years. I mean, a slew of them. And it just teachers and principals. And it just so happened that the community said, no, y'all can't do that. Y'all can't put teachers in school in jail for 30, 40 years. And then they came back and said, okay, we won't do that. We'll put them in there for 5 or 6.
What?
The majority of those teachers
Yeah,
went to
it was
jail
bad.
for
They
5,
did.
6, 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
The superintendent who put all that shit together, while she was awaiting trial, she went back to her home country, Trinidad. She was
What?
about, but she was waiting trial, right? She was about 5'3" and weighed probably about 200 pounds. She was a chunky, little chunky, short woman, pretty woman, chunky, short. When she got out of that limousine for her trial, she weighed something like maybe 140.
Oh.
Had a wig on her head. She
Oh.
used to wear her wig. She looked sunken. I said, "Oh, she's sick. She good and sick." Come to find out, she had cancer.
Oh wow.
Wow.
But that cancer wasn't bothering her when she was flying all over the country and the world and this and that and this.
Right.
But when she went to Trinidad, the weight trial, she came back looking like a shadow of her former self. Let me end this by saying she died before she went to jail, but all the other folk went to jail. Though.
Oh my
I
God.
want to answer Tracy's question too, but let me just say this.
Wait. Let me just finish this little. No,
Okay,
let you say that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I took a tangent. I was trying to tell y'all something different. What was I trying to tell y'all? Teacher of the year.
the teacher of the year. Yeah.
The last, so I go to my last observation. I had my last observation. The principal who ain't did shit all year comes in my room the last day of the year and said, "I got to do your observation." I said, "The last day of school? Are you kidding me? I got to get one more in." She comes in my room, and by that time, I'm working on alternative education, high school. By that last day, if you did your shit, you don't have to come the last 3-4 days, right? But the jokers who ain't been in 4 months show up the last 3 or 4 days. I'm like, what can I do to get back? What can I possibly do? So I had in my classroom only 2 girls. This is 1 and this is 2. Both of them I hadn't seen in at least 3 to 4 months. But they came in, I don't want to flunk. What can I do? Because they tell you what the fuck to do. I had to let them get them some work. Knowing they, you understand? You know that man that was burning me up. I said, here we go with this shit again. They come in, well, you got to give them work, Mrs. Ray. You got to give them work. I sat down, I put the work in front of them. When a woman came in to do evaluation, one of the things was you had to be actively engaged with the children anytime somebody came in your room. Because they were under investigation, which I didn't know anything about coming from a union state. Because they were under investigation, I could look up at any day of the year, and suits would walk in my room and line up behind the wall, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. Some on iPads, some with paper. Anytime. And it happened often because I was teacher of the year. So they would come to my room when they didn't go nowhere else. My room was full of people all the time. Just take it. Evaluating. So this particular day, she comes in last day and say, well, I got to get my last evaluation in. When I went back to her office, because the girls were sitting there, I gave them packs of work and said, do whatever you can. Because it was a waste of time. It was a waste of their time, my time. Anyway, I put them over there. I said, here you go, packets. There's some instructions. Have at it. She come in there to observe. I was not actively engaged with them on the last day of school. I'm packing my fucking box for next year. That's what I'm doing, right? When I go to her office to sign off on it, she said, Mr. Ray, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to take an L for this one.
What?
I said, huh?
What's an L?
Or loss.
Oh.
She said, you're going to have to, wait, but Andrea, that's exactly what I said. Wait, what's an L? She says, no, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to take an L. I said, why am I going to, what do you mean by that? She said, well, because you wasn't engaged with the kids before, it should have been instruction time. You weren't actively engaged. I looked at her. I said, I wasn't actively engaged on the last day of school. Last day of school for the last 20 minutes of class because you just showed up. I wasn't actively engaged, and they just showed up. She said to me, "Well, I mean, you can't get all positives though. I mean, I can't give you all positives." She says, So what can you do to improve? What can you do to improve?
Oh my!
In that inactive engagement? I said, what can I do? She said, yeah. I said, get the hell out of here.
Oh.
That's when I decided I was leaving. I said, that's what I can do. I can get the hell out of here. She said, Mr. Ray. I said, yeah, I'm gonna get the hell. I said, I don't have time for this. I said, I don't want to waste my time and my energy and my talent and my creativity on this bullshit right here. Her mouth flew open. She said, wait a minute. Wait, Mr. Ray. Sound like Sister Joyce. Wait a minute. Wait, Sister Ray. Wait a minute now. Don't wait a minute. Now, what you mean? What you mean you gonna leave? I said, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I mean, when I leave this room, I'm leaving this school district. I'm leaving. Wait a minute. Where you gonna go? I said, I don't know. I said, but I'm not gonna
out of here.
I'm done with this. I'm done. You know what she said? I said, I've been thinking about it. I said, we do so much. I said, first of all, y'all want too much money for me, too much shit for this little bit of money y'all giving me. Way too much. But I dealt with it for 5 years though. But I just came to my I came to my place at that time. I said, y'all want too much money for this little bit of money. I mean, too much shit for this little bit of money y'all give me. It ain't worth it. It's not worth the stress, all of that. I said, and this right here we talking about, it don't even make no sense. It don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to you. It don't make no sense to nobody who know what's going on. So what I'm going to do about it is get the hell on. That's what I'm gonna do about it. You know what she said? Girl, I know what you mean.
But she about to give you the loss. Man, miss me with that.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be quick as I possibly can. But let me just say, those two little girls in the classroom, Vicky, those are the ones that's getting that stimulus check. You know what I'm saying? This, if you give Rita and Nita like that a stimulus check, you right, they're gonna go to Gucci and Lucci and Verducci to spend their money. You know?
Yeah.
I agree with y'all about the entrepreneurship, but I think we need to do a mind shift. When I interview with places, I worked at this place downtown. And I had to say to them, let me tell you straight up, I don't do 9 to 5. What is the culture here? Because I don't want nobody checking in behind me, and I'm not doing right now. The place I work right now, even the kids say to me, "What time you coming in? You late for what? What am I late for? What am I late for?"
I love it.
Yeah, I'm not late. Matter of fact, I'm the director. It don't start till I get here. What you mean I'm late? And I got I'm the one with the writing the checks. I'm late.
Basically said, girl, bye.
Yeah, go somewhere and sit down and come out I'm late. I don't play those games. I don't do that. I know my weaknesses like you. If I worked at a job where I don't do that no more. I'm like, look, this is not my thing. Yeah. I don't want to drink coffee with y'all. I want to talk about y'all day. Well, that's all they doing in the morning. Walk around each other's desk talking about you. I don't drink coffee, and I don't want y'all to beer.
Oh my goodness.
Around finish. That's just how I get down, you know.
Yeah.
So
no, I think that's how a lot of Black people get down. I like to come into work and be quiet. They get mad because I don't want to get into all the stuff, and I'm like, I don't need to talk about that. Why do you need me to talk about that? Because I don't seem normal. No, I'm not normal. I'm not a rat on your wheel. So you mad about it? Absolutely. It's just frustrating to be able to walk to the beat of your own drum, and people get mad because you on rhythm and you got some slot stuff going on and you twirling the baton too, and they get mad because can I be in your parade? No, it's a parade of one. Bye.
I love it.
I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I did this job and I hated it. They hated me. I hated them. I loved it. And I didn't like. And we knew it. I told them that. I'm like, I don't think I would like to be my supervisor. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it would be easy to manage me. And I'm sick of y'all pulling me in this office for these little talks. I got other stuff to do. Don't call me in here to give me no stern lecture no more. Don't do that. Calling me to meetings. Look, if y'all gonna fire me, do it. I'm not coming all the way over there to get fired. You know. So when I had an opportunity to take another job, this place coached me. I jumped at it. I didn't want the job. I just didn't want to work at this other place no more. So I went through the process. It really wasn't something I wanted to do. But the lady who had put me on said to me, "Well, how was your interview?" She asked me. I said it was good. You know, But at the end, I said, but let me tell you what I want to do for you. I don't want to do data analysis. And I listed 6 things. This is what I want to do for y'all. 6 months later, they created a job off that email, and I had that position.
All right now.
We created this job around that email that you sent. You remember that email you sent me? The job I'm at right now. I was there as a part-time worker. I was an independent contractor. But I needed more money, so I found another job. But I told my other job, hey, I need y'all to work around my other schedule. You know, I really love this job. They said, okay. So I had, 2 jobs. Went to my part-time job, said, look, I found a full-time job. No, they said, no. We want you to stay here. We want to make you the director. Listen to me. People been working there 15 years. I've been working there 3 months. They have certificates, and I don't have a degree. Not a degree in early childhood education, I have a degree, period. I have no early childhood education experience on my resume at all, and I've been to 8 colleges. I want this to sink in.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you know what? I don't
That's
think
good,
I
Sonny.
have the. I don't think I'm the
Most qualified.
credentials for this job. But I don't think they said we're not looking for that. We're looking for a leader. So I make my schedule. I come in when I want to. You know, I can't be never showing up, right?
Right.
Yeah. If I want to go in the classroom, I do. If I don't want to go in the classroom, I don't. Right. And so I think there, especially people who I know in this line who are uber talented, sit down at the interview table and tell them they're going to give you a bunch of stuff. Okay, well, let me say something. How many women y'all got working? How many black? How long they been working here?
Yeah.
Bring something to the table, too. We so used to listening to them and telling us what is that we like, yeah. No. And all of it ain't about money.
Right.
It's about I need a laptop, a phone, and I don't want to be in here every day. You know how many white girls work for me, work at the job I work at? They've been working from home. That ain't nothing new. And that's like if you got a kid doing COVID. But we got to go into the office every day and punch. No. That ain't what I'm on. Okay, that's enough. What I tell my kids is that, look, you can't go to college. It's expensive. I think if that's the route for you, none of us know what we want to do when we're 17 and 18. That actually, I think it's me and Vicky have had this conversation before. That may be too young of an age to make a decision for the rest of your life.
Your brain even fully developed.
About entrepreneurship opportunities, which is a mindset you got to get used to. I tell them about gap years. You need to take it to working, trade schools, culinary schools, becoming a cosmetologist, all of
Job Corps, Peace Corps.
Job Corps, Peace Corps. I don't do the Army. I'm sorry, baby. I don't do the Army, though. I can't tell them that.
Well, when I get a chance, I'm going to tell y'all what that did for me when it's my turn. I'm going to tell you.
No. We finished it. We done.
I got to tell you what it did for me. I'm going to tell you what that did for me. But continue.
I know they hooked you up. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of we do a thing. De Niro spoke at a CCR Plus program, College and Career Readiness Plus. If any of you would like to speak to my kids, I welcome you to do so. Look, ain't nobody's path from high school to where they at a linear line. It's more like up, down. I went back and dropped out, came back. So to think that an 18-year-old gonna figure this out is ludicrous. It's ludicrous. I wish I would have been, me and De Niro would have took some time off school and went to South America, right?
Yeah,
with
for sure.
in our pocket. Just think
white kids do that all the time.
Exactly. Yep. And I don't mean to go there to be white people, to go there and to learn and grow. Like what happened to Che Guevara. He's a doctor. He take a year out of school, travel South America, change his life, never go back to medical school. And become a revolutionary. He didn't even know what was going on in the world. Right. But in the same country, people were being oppressed. He knew nothing about it. He's been reading in the books. Okay, I'm done.
That's good.
All
right, Lutcrecia, we're gonna give you 3 minutes. And we're gonna
3 minutes.
We got to move on. So I got to talk.
And then we're gonna hang Jamal, or maybe not hang.
I got to chop it up.
We're not gonna hang her.
My perspective was, I guess I would call it a builder perspective. And what I did was I would take one situation, build upon it for another situation. So when I graduated from high school, my mom was telling me, I don't have the money to send you to college. So what are you going to do? So that's what got me to the point of going into the military. So I didn't just go into the military aimlessly, because a lot of us, we didn't go to the military to be patriots. Let me tell you, that wasn't the point. For me, because I didn't go to college, but I'm doing very well for myself now. So what I did with my time while I was in the military, I picked up an MOS that could help me when I got out of the military.
What's the MOS?
Job.
My job. And so I'm a paralegal.
Oh.
So from there, when I left the military, that gave me other job options. And what I would do was, if I had a job or got a job, I learned everything about that job. I got all the experience, all the knowledge that I could get from there, so that I could build upon that and go higher. and build upon that. And I had so much knowledge. So where I was in the position of I had experience that people with degrees didn't have. And that got me through many doors. You see what I'm saying? So what I tell my children is find yourself a foundation because you need money coming in. No. You need money coming in. Be able to take the money that you have going in and take that as seed money for your passion.
That's
Oh,
good.
that's real good.
Take that
That's rich. That's rich.
I'm gonna take that 40-hour paycheck. And if I want to start a business, I don't have to get a loan. I'm working. And from me working, I can take that. That's going to help me get my business off the ground. That's going to help me start doing what I need to do. See, there's many ways of doing things. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
And so it gives you options and it gives you opportunities because like I said, right now with the resume that I have, if I were to choose to jump or whatever, what have you, even on what I'm doing now, I'm building upon that. I can go do something else. You see what I'm saying? Always be building upwards.
Right.
Wherever it is that you do, build upwards because your experience will take you far. Because if I find myself unemployed, I can sit here and say, now, out of all the plethora of things I've ever done, from being a paralegal to working for a judge to law enforcement to this and that and the other, what is it that I can do? I can pick and choose. Or even if I wanted to pick up and start my own business and do something, I have that understanding. So it's more than one way to skin a cat, and that's what I tell my children. And they've seen me do it. So my 19-year-old is talking about buying a house.
All right now.
You know, I'm planting the seeds of generational wealth when I bought my house. I have insurance policy. They're not going to be doing no GoFundMe to bury me.
Come on now. Do cremation. It's cheaper.
I don't care what they do, but they're going to have some money. They got a house that I have purchased that when I pass, the insurance money going to pay that off. They're going to have cash money coming into their hands. You see what I'm saying?
It's legacy.
Right.
Seed of generational wealth. Now I got to put it in their mind by not just telling them, but being the example so that they can say, okay, this money's in my hand. What am I going to do with it? I ain't going to the Gucci store.
Okay.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I can put it in their mind or give them the example to buy a house while they're young, they have property. When something happens to me, that money goes into their hand. They may be able to pay their property off.
Right.
They can sell this, split it, and pay off 3 houses.
Or rent it out and get some residual income.
The goal for me is to build generational wealth. I'm not going to die and leave this world and leave my children without a legacy.
That's real good.
That's powerful right there.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah, people may frown upon how you start. It ain't about how I started, it's how I end up.
How I finished. It's how I finished the race.
I started it off.
I know that's right. That's good.
Let me shoot out something right quick because that's a good note. Let me shoot out Jay Morrison and a Tulsa Real Estate Fund out of Atlanta who is doing big. And that's a company I'm telling y'all that I'm going to get my first residuals because I took my entire stimulus check and bought stock in that company. And so they're right out of Atlanta. I'm just saying because they're in the real estate, there's a whole lot of black economical empowerment. So I want to shoot a shout out for them. So.
Shoot it. We have to teach our children to be smarter than us, to do more than us, to do better than us.
Tracy said,
we adding on to what we taught them.
Yeah, because shame on us if we leave them in a worse situation than we're in.
Right.
And people are doing it every day. Tracy said, thank y'all for your perspectives. Corey said, I have enjoyed y'all tonight! ! Mr. Lutcrecia, you giving a word. I appreciate you and all of you.
You want to help us. We got to help each other.
Sonny left some information for us about Sankofa's online retreat. So that's here.
That's coming.
So with 2 things we're going to look for before we go. This information and the information Dominique left us about the event coming up on Saturday. Corey said, before I quit trying to find a black company, any local screen printer who can have a 7-day turnaround for orders with sets of screens, 2 of us are looking and having designs ready to print. Wait a minute. Before I quit trying to find a black company. Oh, I see what you're saying. Any local. Oh, she's asking. Any local screen.
Where is she?
She's in Detroit.
Oh,
she in Detroit. Ain't that what Tanya does?
She don't do silk screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, she know what dude. I got to think of what his name is.
Okay. Yeah, let's
Okay,
pass the information. Yes,
so
and
Corey
hopefully
might be able
black
to. I
owned.
mean, so Sonny may be able to help you, Corey, so y'all can
Just
connect
that
on
thing.
that. Okay, let's finish this out, y'all. It is 12:30.
I got
Jesus,
it.
Oh, it's 9:30.
can we
And
get 10
I am
It's
minutes?
only
almost to
9:30
my
here now.
destination.
Can we get 10 minutes, Sonny? 10 minutes.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was off mute.
Oh yeah, we heard you. We heard that.
What was you thinking?
So okay, this is gonna be quick
Oh
though.
my
This is we're
god.
gonna pour this tea real quick and real fast. Let me just add. Let's start this way. Let y'all give me just one that on the panel and in the chat. One sentence that you know of or you've heard of about Jamal Bryant. Just one sentence. Everybody, one
Can I
sentence.
start?
Yes,
Can
you
he
may.
He's
go?
an
Can I start?
instrument.
Hold on.
Yes,
Hold on.
Lucretia,
Hold
you can
on.
start.
Andrea, hold
I'm
on.
gonna
Go ahead.
start.
I am driving.
Oh, sorry.
What my cup say?
I can't
Ho,
see it.
What my cup
Oh,
Okay, hold.
oh,
ho,
He
oh,
says hold.
oh, come now.
Oh my god.
ho.
I would
Wait,
say
not
go
just
ahead.
ho,
She said ho ho
Ho,
ho.
ho.
Oh my
Okay,
god. Appropriate cup, right?
put it on out there. Why Tracy got her hands up like this? Why all her hands up? Lucretia said her sentence about Jamal Bryant is ho ho ho. All right,
Say what you
Sonny.
said,
Mine is,
Andrea.
wait,
Andrea, I'm sorry. Andrea
mine
was
is,
saying something with Lucretia.
I'm repeating what I heard on the Housewives of Potomac.
Uh-huh.
One girl came with the receipts. She was
Uh-huh.
like, "Go on and tell Pastor Holy Whore."
Uh-huh.
I was like,
Mm.
Uh-huh.
"Oh
Uh-huh.
wow." And keep in mind, I was like, I had to look up everything on Jamal Bryant. I've heard of him, I've seen him, what have you. I was like, wow, so he's out there in them streets like that, huh?
He is out there in them streets, baby. He's out there in them streets. All right. So Andrea on Jamal Bryant, Pastor Holy Whore. All right. Come on.
Can you tell? I don't know much of what he done got into it again.
Yeah, man. This brother,
De Niro on Jamal Bryant. What you know?
that brother needs some serious counsel because he cannot keep his penis
Yes,
in his pants.
yes.
That
Remember I said
brother needs
counseling.
to be castrated.
She
Oh,
got
Oh
interpreted for you.
my. Oh
oh,
my.
let me change that. That's not De Niro on Jamal Bryant. That's Vicky on Jamal Bryant.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
Yeah.
remember
Okay.
I said before, Vicky, if you don't deal with your stuff before you become before you get into the public arena, it's gonna show
Yes.
up when you're in
Yes.
the If you
Yep.
don't
Your
deal with your
stuff is
stuff,
still.
if you don't deal with your stuff
In private.
voluntarily in private, it's gonna manifest itself,
publicly.
yeah,
Yes.
That's your word.
involuntarily in public, yeah, and embarrass you.
That's
Yeah.
your word on
Yep.
Jamal Bryant. If you don't deal with your
Yeah.
shit,
Oh,
oh, that's me
Wow.
again.
That's Vicky
Dang.
again.
that's good.
Then you'll deal with it in public.
Oh my gosh.
So, I don't know how much y'all all know about what's going
Too
on with Jamal
much.
Bryant, and I don't
What
follow
you going
him.
on, girl?
I don't really follow Jamal Bryant. I don't follow him at all. But
Right.
that's when you know. That's when you know your ass need to go somewhere and sit down. If I don't follow you and your shit is everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere I go, I'm running into something else
Yes.
about Jamal Bryant. If that's the case, you need to sit your ass down somewhere. So my question to y'all is, let me just give you a little bit of what I have heard because I don't follow him either. But like Andrea said, well, first of all, I really wish she was here, Nova, because Nova was telling me, and I did find it online. I'm gonna see if I can find it in a second. If we don't go over 10, I'll see if I can find it. She told me there was a video and I saw it. Oh, wait. What did Tracy say? Okay, hold it. Tracy said this show gives me life every week. My brain cells are rejuvenated. Well, wonderful. That's wonderful. She said, okay, so here's Tracy's thing. She said she thought he was gay. I'm gonna come back. I never heard that, but I'm gonna
I
come back
didn't think
to
that one.
I'm gonna come back to that in a minute, though,
I
Tracy.
don't think he gay.
Oh.
That
Well,
brother being skin's a whole. I'm sorry.
hey, hey, a lot of times. Okay, let me just come back. I'm
I know
coming.
where you're going with that, Vicky.
So this is what I know. She said, Nova said there was a video and I saw it on YouTube. That said, damn. She said, you know that he got ran out of Baltimore, like literally
Yep.
off the street in Baltimore. I said, huh?
Yep.
She said, yeah.
What?
She said the brothers got together and ran his ass out of Baltimore. She said, it's a video of it. Somebody videotaped it. And sure
What,
enough,
brothers in the church
no,
or
baby,
brothers
Nah,
in the
street.
no,
community?
on the
In the
corner
street. Yeah.
that knew who he was, and he was walking around in his some kind of angel, not the one he had on when he was reading everybody like a fucking woman.
What?
Okay, we'll get back to that. All right, there he had on some kind of shirt on the street. He's supposed to have been evangelizing. That's what he's supposed to be doing, going from door to door evangelizing. He had some kind of shirt on that says, I'm some kind of African." And the brother pulled up on him and said, "Ain't you Jamal? You Jamal, right?" Yeah, standing in front of the project. I ain't even gonna tell y'all what all that guy said, but I know he told him, "We don't fucking want you around here, motherfucker. Let me catch you around here again. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. You understand? We don't want you in our
Wow.
community no more." You know what he said? You know what he said? "Yes, sir," and walked off because the guy told him, you better carry your ass on and do it now."
I don't think he can fight. I'm just
No,
saying.
he looked at that guy square in the face. Everything that guy said, he said, yes, yes, yes. That guy said, don't come back this way no more. He said, don't let me catch you. Don't let me catch you over here no more. And pretty much what he said. Now these the folk. This is street. The street done said, we don't. You so janky. We don't want you in the street. Go back to the church where you came from.
The street.
He didn't
He
say
got
that
kicked
part.
off the street though.
He didn't say that part, but I'm saying that part because that's what it boiled down to. You
Mhm.
telling me that the nigga on the street said, "You so janky, you so foul. We don't want you down here nowhere near our folk." So what that mean? That mean go back to the church where you came from. That's what that mean.
Man.
That's what that mean. Now, recently, he's at New Birth. It came out on the Housewives of Potomac with Andrea. Yeah, them folk. What she's talking about is it came out that he and Giselle, which is his ex-wife, aren't even married. Been divorced for a while now. Been divorced for something like 3-4 years or more.
They've been divorced.
They've been divorced.
Yeah,
But
everybody
but
knew
they
they
were
were
saying they were
divorced.
getting back together.
Yeah,
That was a lie
that's what
they
they've been
told.
portraying on the show.
Right, and they weren't.
Is that they're dating.
And they weren't at all. They weren't dating anyway. They literally did it just for
Get on
the publicity and to get on the show.
Yep.
So let's just stop there. But you're supposed to be a pastor and you live in a complete lie to make some money. Complete lie. Complete lie.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, while that was going on, it just came out that this chick's name, that's why I wish we were on the other platform so I can pull up stuff. This chick by the name of Pastor Tonya Smith just came out.
Is she a pastor? I read up on it. I know she's a pastor. Out of LA, right? Out of LA, right?
Tracy said DL is the feeling I got. We're gonna touch on that, Tracy.
Yeah.
Pastor Tonya Smith or somebody been in the church preaching the gospel. Prophetess, I think they call her prophetess.
Prophet
She
line.
comes out. Lutcrecia, did you hear about this?
I'm listening.
She comes out just recently. When I say recently, I'm
Look,
talking about
Going
in
to
the
the other
past.
glass.
I'm talking about. See, every time you do that, I think, yeah, let me freshen up.
I'm going. I better stop before I be having stomach problems.
She comes out just in the past 3 to 4 weeks. Get on, do a straight live video with 3 or 4 influencers because she has been in a full-fledged relationship with Jamal for 7 years.
Yeah,
And when 7
Yeah.
years. And when I say 7 years, I'm talking about 7 years straight relationship. He had the nerve to say on his interview or his reading, that's what it really was, that he was never they had no relations. No relations. One of the influencers said, Larry Reed said, "I done seen you. I know what you look like because I know you fine. So I know," he said, "I know good and well You ain't been laying up in his bed with that big old bread basket. With that big bread basket, and he wasn't doing it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Well, she finally came out and did her own interview and said they were in full-fledged relationship. He said that he had never been. She had never been to my home. I've never been to hers. So she comes with pictures of in his bed and in her bed.
Yep.
7 years.
She had receipts for sure.
This is all in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
While that's going on, another chick comes forward and say she's been in a relationship with the last 5 years. I think it is.
It was 5. Yep.
Those are the only ones that have come forward, y'all. The only ones that have come forward. That's
Well,
all.
don't do one with 5 years. Don't they got a son? His name is John something Bryant.
And he's been hiding him, but folk found out about him. So all he's claiming, my understanding is allegedly, all he's claiming is the 2 girls that he has with Giselle. But
3.
That was an outside baby in there, wasn't it?
Yep.
No, he has 3 girls with Giselle.
Okay. Well, that's what he claiming. His girls with Giselle. But apparently,
but didn't he go outside his marriage before? Like had a baby outside of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's back in Baltimore.
And according to Larry Reed, if I remember correctly, I don't want to lie though. So allegedly, the latest baby they just found out that the one at least they found out about is less than 2.
Wow.
So apparently, he has. My understanding is he has like 3 or 4 babies somewhere out that have come up. And these ain't got nothing to do with Giselle's kids, but those they said some of them he paid for but don't see, and then some he ain't never acknowledged.
$1,100. Yep,
Yeah,
that's his standard.
some he ain't never acknowledged.
Yep.
So, this is funny too. Well, it ain't funny. It's sad. When they asked, when the interviewer asked her where was she having relationships with him, or where would they meet or whatever, and she said one of the places, y'all listen to this. One of the places was, what did she call it? Anyway, it's a big prophetic conference. She said that TD Jakes does every year.
Wow.
Every time they went to the TD Jakes conference, they were together.
They hooking up.
The girl's like, wait, so y'all was in the same hotel room? Well, yes. And I said, so
why is she spilling the tea on them?
Because Jamal got on TV and said that he didn't have anything to do with her and tried to make her look like a liar. And
is this the one with the baby? Is this the one with the baby?
No. This one had no baby. Nope.
Wow.
Nope. And so she said that she's dealt with that for long enough, and she decided she's gonna clear her name. Period. So she did. I said, so this.
I mean, how's she gonna clear it? What? I ain't his hoe, but I mean, how you gonna clear it?
Right.
You prophesying and knocking boots after what? Tell everybody to be. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So
No, you're
I'm listening to her.
De Niro.
Go ahead, Andrea.
No, I was just agreeing with De Niro. How are you going to sit up there and you contradict your message from God when you're doing that? You're walking around with sin boots on, if you will, and then you're trying. Not that you can't. Oh my God! Let me stop. I'm gonna shut up.
Tracy, she had receipts. They had receipts.
Oh, for sure.
They
for sure.
actually had receipts. Yeah, literally. Like
so I'm gonna say this. Hey, look, he's only a man. No,
right.
Shut up.
Let me echo Sonny.
That's what I'm gonna say. I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know all of this. But this gospel celebrityism is
Lutcrecia
really
picked up her glass of wine again.
Oh,
so be careful.
I'm about to be in some trouble now.
Yep.
This gospel celebrityism is like De Niro said. You know, if you don't deal with your stuff on the real, it's just gonna embarrass you in the pulpit when you get it, and that's any walk of life. But people like Jamal Bryant, because he's been popular for quite some time.
Yeah,
He's been on the scene and on the move for quite some time.
He dealt with Omarosa too, and some stuff that was more reality TV.
When Mace, the rapper, he left hip hop alone and he entered into
the church.
He was a Christian and he was going to do. And next thing you know, you saw him speaking places. Now, anybody in their right mind know that boy don't need to be speaking to nobody.
Kanye West.
Same thing with Kanye.
Yeah, he's been saved for 3 days. What are you gonna tell those kids? But because he's celebrity, he gonna draw a bunch of people. He got a fancy club. They pimping him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And a lot of times, people, especially people with gifts, and even attractiveness or charisma, I'm counting as a gift. people want to just see it. They want to touch it. They want to be around it. They don't care nothing about character. They don't care nothing about integrity. And they help you on the pedestal. And it'd be the same ones that help you fall.
Right.
In a community, that's why you need a community of people who will be like, hey, man, your shit stink.
That's what I'm getting ready to say. So that's my question. My question is, what is, and I just recently heard this too. This was like, I think it was Larry Reed a couple days ago. Tracy said he's an influencer. He's a PK kid out of the Kojic church. But
what's his name?
Larry Reed. His show is
Larry
Reed
I know about
Live.
Larry Reed. Oh yeah, I know about Larry Reed. Of course. Yeah.
Larry can be real messy though. Some of the stuff he do is just so I can't. Some of it's so messy.
You can only stomach so much.
You have to eat the meat and pick out the bones.
Yeah.
But some of his other stuff is right on point. Some of his stuff is right on point. Some of it is very informative. He teaches a lot. He is a life coach, but he's a teacher. He's a teacher. I'm talking about in here. He teaches a lot, but you just kind of wiggle through because sometimes it gets so messy. I'll be like, I don't really like gossip like that, Yeah. So, but he always come with receipts, and he's got a lot of connections, and he has the ear of a lot of people. So a lot of times when he's going live and talk about something, he'll just be like, wait a minute, let me call him, dial him up, and be like asking questions. And he said, wait a minute, because I'm about to put you on speakerphone. You okay with that? All right. And then just keep going. I've seen him call people and they were already on speakerphone. He said, you better be careful what you say because I got you on speakerphone. Yeah, I'm online. Yep, 5,000 people watching.
Wow.
So what he tells you is gonna be, it's gonna be legit. So that's why I heard one of the things that Larry Reed just said the other day was he said that he said my inside sources tell me that because there was all this talk about finally firing him. I think it was last week. Larry said my inside sources.
Who, Larry Reed or Jamal?
Jamal.
New Birth was gonna fire him because of all this shit.
Wait till you hear what she's about to say because I listened to it. Go ahead, Shiki.
He said my inside sources tell me that they waffling on that because they've lost a lot of money during the pandemic, and he brings in the money.
He brings in money.
Isn't that sad?
He said these big churches.
I'm not really.
He said, y'all see these big old fine edifices? He said, that shit. He didn't say shit. He said, that stuff costs money.
Somebody got to pay for it.
He said, if you got a mortgage on them big old churches and ain't nobody coming in and you ain't getting them tithes and offers like you normally do, he said, some of them folk in trouble. He said, in New Birth, my understanding is they waffling with that because in all of his craziness, he bring in the money. He bring the bag.
Of course.
So here's my question to you. What is wrong with the Black community? How sick are we?
That's not just the Black community.
We can't fix white folk.
I was going to say that's what I'm concerned
Let
about.
them build their own issues.
I'm sorry.
Let them burn up the Capitol building.
But we're talking about people of God in general.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about Black people.
Okay, excuse me.
Because he ain't in the suburbs. He in the hood. He in the state. He right there in the cut.
Okay. I'll leave that alone.
My question is, what is our sickness? What is our sickness? What are we lacking that would cause us to make us subject to this kind of spiritual abuse? Because that's what it is.
Let me say this.
What's wrong with us?
On this one. I'll reserve it until you call my name.
Yeah, call our names because we got stuff to say.
As she raises her glass.
Right.
I'm about to say that glass is bottomless. She been drinking that.
Tracy said he is only a man. We need to stop putting these foods on these big ass platforms. I agree that fact. Now,
Tracy said on Friday night, I'm gonna bring it on home with that. Just leave that up right there.
Well, then we'll let you close us out because we're gonna take about 5 more minutes. We're gonna let you close us out with your comment, Lutcrecia.
Because I'm gonna tell you.
You'll be done with that wine by then, right?
Y'all and these preachers, I think somebody need to come. Somebody need to help me out of it.
What? Wait.
Go ahead, Andrea. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so the best thing that could have ever happened to me was being hurt by the church, because, and this may not sound too PC, but I don't care. Them Negroes put their drawers on one leg at a time. I don't care if you want a bishop, a reverend, a doctor, apostle. Whatever your mama named you is what I'm gonna call you. Because my biggest mistake as an individual, can't speak for nobody else, was idolatry and putting people on pedestals. And not that it happened once, it happened multiple times and multiple cultures. So nobody ever gonna get to put on a pedestal of me. And I'm gonna be as raw as I can. Them niggas just like me. And that's how I see all preachers. I don't care who you are. I just don't. And that's what I've come to. That's where I've grown to. That's where I've been hurt to. So even in my own interactions every day, I don't let nobody put me up on a pedestal. You ain't about to do it. You ain't, because I'm not gonna allow you to do what I did. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let them do that. So yeah, no, they put their drawers on one leg at a time, and I treat them just like that. Your mama called you Bill. What's happening, Bill? Or call me Bishop. Bill. That's just me. That's where I am. Because I'm not gonna even give you. I ain't giving you the satisfaction of thinking I need to put you up. That's just where I am. It may be wrong. Me and God will deal with it later, but that's where I am. Period. Across the board with me.
I hear you.
I didn't want you to put anybody on a pedestal. That's idolatry.
Gerard just came on. He said, "Hey, gang."
What's up with Derek?
So I'm gonna ask you this, and then I'm gonna let Sonny or Andrea take it, and then we're gonna let Lutcrecia take us home on this one. So I'm asking you, should we cancel him? Should the Black Church cancel Jamal's grimy ass?
What? Please, Vicky, tell us how you really feel.
Oh no, I'm gonna reserve my opinion.
Hey, he put his jaws on one leg at a time. He ain't up there, so I expect him to do that. So that's just where I am. Oops, he did it.
Should he be in the pulpit with that shit? That's really what I want to know. Should he, or does it not matter?
I don't think he should.
Matter.
I don't think he should.
It definitely matter. I mean, because
he
definitely is.
Well, dang, somebody sound like a semi truck. What the world?
Be careful out there.
Somebody is sawing.
Is people blowing at you, Andrea?
No, I'm sitting still. I don't know what y'all talking about. That is not me.
Okay.
I thought you was running somebody off the road.
No, that is not me.
I don't know. This is complex. You know what I'm saying? I do think he need to be removed. But the fact is that, like you already just said, the fact that he's gone this far doing this, these people at this church, by the time this get to a national, they knew this. They know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or they got inklings of it. But again, like we've been talking about, people don't, they like this. They like celebrities. They like these well-dressed, fancy, smooth talkers. You know, they don't want nobody holding them accountable. And even look at the church he went into. Oh, Lutcrecia gone. Even the church he went into. He went into New Birth. I would have been like, I need to tell you before I go into New Birth. Because y'all let me long stay up there that wrong. Even that wig alone was ground.
You better.
That little curly wig. Y'all not gonna say nothing to him about that?
And it was cut. It was bowl cut. It was like somebody put a bowl on it. It was like cut right around here like this.
Curled, and the rest of his hair was
what the hell is that? What is that?
Just come on, man. This guy see now. I mean, it's a manifestation of what the Black church is on. Tomfoolery.
Right.
This is crazy. And then you got your pastor on the Love and Hip Hop show, or whatever it is. That itself is like, huh? Really?
What pastor is on the Love and Hip Hop show?
Last week they said he was spotted in Magic City.
They spotted.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got
Bryant.
My God,
this many women, you probably going to strip clubs. You know what I'm saying? He needs some help.
He needs help.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like he had a sexual addiction, and
that's what it is. Call it what it is.
He probably don't got nobody around him.
Exactly.
That's gonna ever hold him accountable for that. Why? Because that
nobody.
Means whatever it is he doing for them, and if that means just being his entourage, they gonna cut that off.
Ain't he part of the Baptist? Well, maybe not. I was gonna say that Baptist fellowship, but anyway, all of that stuff.
I don't know, but I know this.
Ain't nobody holding him accountable to show.
That community peen.
Ew.
That's a nasty shit.
Community
shit.
Community
peen. That's
penis.
Nasty shit.
Community penis.
Oh, community penis. I thought
Yeah,
she
because you
said
think
they
about.
were peeing in the community. I'm like, what? They peed again?
I wouldn't put. Look, I wouldn't put nothing past them. But no, here's my thing though.
Stop, please.
Here's my thing. We're
There she
only
go.
talking about those that we know of. Just the ones that we know of. Those are the ones that have come forward. You got to know that man is traveling the world all the time. So we have to know. I mean, common sense will tell us that there are a lot more than we know of. That's some nasty shit running from place to place, from east to west, north to south. But we don't have that much. We don't have that much concern or worth that we would still allow him to speak over. Somebody speak over your life, and you've opened yourself spiritually to them.
Yeah.
He dumping all that shit in your spirit.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Convoluted.
what I mean when I say what kind of sickness do we have that we would allow that? It's like we're prone to abuse. It's crazy to me. Tracy said our sickness is putting the man on a pedestal. Maybe that is it.
I'm telling you,
Maybe
Bill,
that's it.
Jamal, Bill, hey, dude, bro, homie. Yeah. Nah.
She says if the board is contemplating Bill versus saving souls, throw the whole church away. And that's what
God
they
is doing
contemplating.
that.
My understanding, Tracy,
He's
that's what
definitely
they're
exposed to a
contemplating.
lot of things. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of exposure right now. If you notice, think about it, y'all. Look at within the last year how much stuff is being exposed. And I
Last
do believe
year,
it's the God. Yeah,
last
within
5-6 years.
well, I'm saying for sure. Don't get me wrong. But I
Yeah, or
know a
more.
lot of stuff came out last year. And I was like,
Yeah.
dang, it's everywhere,
Yeah,
But yeah, white and no color on it. White, black, purple, brown, yellow. Everybody. I
absolutely.
mean, look at the stuff that happened with Jerry Falwell Jr. This dude got a menage a trois with a 20-year-old him and this woman going down getting their freaked on the floor. Like, what? Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, I'm gonna ask y'all one more time and I'm gonna let Lutcrecia close this out. Andrea, did you want to speak on this?
What are you asking me?
Should he be canceled?
Should we cancel Jamal's grimy ass?
What is the process of canceling?
Cancel me. For me, get
Call
your
him, tell
ass
him
out the
to
Go
pulpit,
sit down
sit
somewhere.
down somewhere, let somebody preach to you, and get yourself in a rehab somewhere because you are sexually addicted. You have an addiction. Go to rehab and get some help.
Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now?
Canceled.
Yeah.
Okay, because it was buffering. In in respects of that in that context, yes, he needs to be canceled. He needs help. He needs accountability. He needs somebody to chaperone him 24/7 because he, like you said, is community. And that how is he, like you said, how is he speaking over people's lives? And you're committing sin. You're walking around with sin boots on. And I'm not
These damn
judging
boots.
him and saying that he is not like any other man or what have you. But what I am saying is, yes, he needs to be checked. He needs to be checked desperately.
Definitely.
I have to go, you guys. I love you. I had a great time, but I have to go.
All right, see you later,
All right,
Andrea.
be safe. Be
See
safe.
you later.
All
We're
right.
gonna let Lutcrecia close this out.
Let's go, Lutcrecia.
We're gonna
What
let
you
you
got
lower
for
the
us?
hammer, Lutcrecia. Then we going on home for the night.
Here's the thing about it. We as black people, we like to chase shiny things.
Oh, Lutcrecia,
That's what Sonny
you was
said.
preaching.
And in the church, those preachers are chasing shiny things. And I think that a lot of people come in with good intentions, but as that money comes and as that fame per se comes, because we got a lot of preachers now that want to be famous, then here we go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Will he be canceled? Absolutely not. You know why?
Why?
Because he ain't the only one.
Yeah. You ain't lying about
It's
it.
common.
It is very
He's
common.
the only one that's being shown right now. He's not going to be canceled because he's not the only one. This is commonplace. What he's doing is common. There's a lot of them doing this.
Another thing Larry said a few weeks ago is, I don't know exactly how he said it, but he came to the fact that a lot of those ministers are compromised.
Yes.
A lot of those deacons, he said, those people on the board, they're compromised too.
Yes.
So there's only so much they can say.
Yeah.
And My assumption is because somebody like Jamal would know where some of the bodies were laying too. So you can holler if you want to, but if you holler, I'ma scream.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and gonna be on a Facebook Live calling everybody out like old girl was. I know about you. I know about you. They're gonna start uncovering a bunch of them. But I mean, this is commonplace in the black church. This is business as usual.
Absolutely.
You
So
know what I'm
unfortunate.
saying? So again, when you're in that place, it's almost becoming a cesspool. The place that
Almost.
we're going. Okay, I'm trying
He
to
said
be
almost.
gentle. I'm trying to be gentle. You know, the
Don't worry
wine
about
got
it.
me mellowed out. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? It's a
I do.
cesspool, and it's a place that we're supposed to be going for spiritual growth. Yes, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also one of the most perverted places
Mm, mm.
that you
Yep.
can be. The
Yep.
church has become a perverted place.
That's
So
horrible.
so everybody's doing all these things and they hiding behind these facades and they trying to make all this money and they trying to be famous. Because how the heck a preacher end up on the Real Housewives show?
You didn't see. You must not have seen when he came out and did that video where he
I,
after
I
that
refuse to watch it. I
he
refuse to
called
watch it.
himself. He literally went down a list of reading these different people, these
Yeah.
women about. I said, really, he got time to do that? And then
Yes.
That he was with those women he been with.
he
You can
did.
bring
Yeah,
context, Vicky. I know what you're talking about. Bring context.
he was.
What?
On the Housewives of the Potomac. I don't know how to say that word.
Tom?
Potomac.
Yep, Potomac. Yeah,
Whatever.
What you say,
Yeah.
Pomatomic?
I like
Potomac.
Potomac.
The
I like
Potomac.
Potomac.
They got
Potomac.
into it with about him, right? He wasn't even on the show. But because they called him out about on some shit, when they were talking about his wife or his ex-wife,
And
Giselle,
all this
he
infidelity.
decided that he would rebut what they said by getting on a Facebook or Instagram and doing a video to counter what they said, like a girl, right?
Like why?
Or like
Right.
you're guilty.
Or
Like
like you
why?
guilty. So
You know
he
what
gets
I'm
on
saying?
there and addresses everything they said. Not only address everything they said, well, he didn't address everything they said. That was one of the problems. He didn't address everything. He addressed some of what they said and started spilling the beans on stuff that didn't have nothing to do with what was said. Just like a gossiping stuff, bringing up stuff about different people. So much so that they were talking about taking them to court about some of the shit that he said
Slander.
about
Yeah,
people.
slander.
Yeah.
Slander that name. Yeah. That's
Mind you,
crazy.
the whole while he talking, he's reading with his fake ass. He's reading out of a binder, looking like this. As I look, uh, you see it's upside down, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
The binder was upside down. He was playing like he was reading from it. That was one of the first things they said. People who started
Wow.
reviewing it said, this mother so and so had the binder turned upside down, trying to make us think that he was reading what was going on. I said that was just another indication of how fake he is. You telling on your
Mm.
damn self.
Well, I would have to agree.
Canceled.
Cancel. I would have to agree, Lucretia. Like at the end of the day, it's a lot of people doing it. But listen, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do an altar call, and I invite anybody to come to the church that I attend. It's called Bedside Baptist with Pastor Sheet and Reverend Pillow. We minister to each other every Sunday, and I invite anybody to come.
Well, thank you for the invitation, but I think I'm gonna stay in my own bedside Baptist
No,
Process that
because
whole
we
how
do
they
have a
work.
Michigan branch.
Hey, I'll deal with no funny business. I ain't got to worry about being mad when I leave church. It's all good.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
And
Yeah.
I give my tithes and offerings. Don't forget the homeless guy by Walmart. I hook him up every Sunday. I'm telling you,
That's
I got
what
it.
and that's the real ministry right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
That's the real ministry.
I mean, but I mean, it's gotten to the point now where it's just so poison.
Yeah.
Again, what is the purpose? I mean, the overall, what is the overall purpose of this? So everybody's being exposed. Again, the church is becoming a cesspool for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Becoming.
Cynical.
Somebody gonna say, not my church. Yes, your church too, because
Funny,
you don't
funny.
know what goes on behind them. When they in that pastor study, because it's a bunch of stuff that go on back there.
In the Sunday school room.
Honey, it was so bad. I didn't even do that. I didn't even invite preachers back into my pastor study. I'd be out there in praise and worship like everybody else. We weren't gonna even conjugate like that.
Right.
We weren't gonna
I,
even do that. I wasn't gonna
I
let it
don't
happen.
blame you.
But the thing about it is, what is it telling us, like, for real, for real? Because what we're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to get in touch with your own spirituality.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have to learn how to study for yourself. You're gonna have to learn some of these things for yourself. You're gonna have to ask God, spirit, the universe, however you want to address, to give you some guidance and to connect you with some people who are real and who are really on this path
Mm-hmm.
and trying to grow and trying to do better. Because a lot of these people that we calling leaders are not leaders. Just because they talk loud, just because they got a big church, just because they got on a flashy three-piece suit that with a matching whatever and matching shoes and all this other stuff, we like them shiny things.
But they lead. They leaders, though. They are leaders. You ever read the Pied Piper?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're leaders. They just leading you into darkness, but they
And
Right.
lead.
we
Right.
need
You
to
know,
know the difference.
and that's you right about that.
Well, I think
Right
we
about
gotta want to know the difference because I think what I do believe, and y'all hear me say this forever. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience, not the other way around. We're created for God's image and likeness. You think He ain't telling us what's going on? We
Right.
sometimes we like self deception. We like to
Right.
feel good. We like all this other stuff instead of the real.
The
Because literally,
yeah,
foundations have to be jacked up in order for people to really get what's going on. And some people ain't willing to allow that foundation to be shook. In my opinion.
I
you're
think you're right.
we're indoctrinated into that system and we accept it.
I
Yeah.
thought about that earlier. I was going to say, in reference to what Sonny said earlier, I think that's one of the things that we need to rethink. I think
Mhm.
I think the institution of the church, and when you say, Lucretia, what is it all about? I think we need to critically look at that. What is it all
Hmm.
about? And
What is it all about?
is it fulfilling what we thought we were getting when we first get there or not? And if
Hmm.
it's not, and that's questionable, what it should have been fulfilling. Because even that, again, let's go back to smoke and mirrors, where you thought you was getting one thing, but
Mirage.
if you're
Hmm.
using your brain now, or if you've been awakened, or if you've heard what the spirit is truly saying, you realize, wait a minute, that this is not what I thought it was.
Right. Right.
So that is another thing that maybe we need to look at in terms of rethinking, reorganizing, reshaping,
Right.
or or getting the hell on.
Right. Because when it comes to the things of the church, and
Yeah.
it's one thing that I said, and I stand on that. You have people who have umpteen degrees, but on Sunday between 9 and 3, their critical thinking skills go out the
Out the
window.
window.
Ooh, yeah, that's it.
That's powerful.
Read
Yep.
educated people who have
Yep.
the ability to think. When it comes to that church on Sunday
Yep.
from 9, I'm giving it from 9 to 3. That's first and second service. They lose all ability to critically think.
Well, they've been taught, or we've been taught to let your guards down.
Hmm.
But some
Let
people
your guard
need to sit there and look at it.
when you go into church, you let your guards down and open yourself for the word of God, or for God to speak to you, or the blessings of God. So you don't go in there with any defenses up. That's the problem, though.
Yeah,
Right.
That's the problem.
but as soon as you get there and you start looking around and you start seeing that the people who are supposed to be helping you are acting just like you,
Something's wrong.
Or worse.
there you
Or
go.
worse.
So do you start questioning it, or do you become a part of what's going on? And many people, because of the way that we're indoctrinated into the church,
Hmm.
we accept it and we keep moving. And what that does is that's going to stunt your growth spiritually, because you're
Absolutely.
going to be caught up in the cesspool with everybody else.
Hmm.
And then that peer pressure is a motherfucker. Don't forget about that. It's a lot of peer pressure in
Hmm.
the church too,
Yeah,
to
because
perform like everybody else.
it's
Yeah,
You know?
want to be a part of the club, the
Yeah.
social clique.
it's
Yeah.
hard, because that was my struggle. Because when I woke up on a Sunday morning and I didn't have a building to go to, that was very hard to deal with.
I bet.
Mm.
But it was necessary, because it's like, okay, that was the beginning of my reprogramming. It's
Hmm.
okay,
Hmm.
I don't have a building to go to. I don't
Hmm.
have a congregation anymore. I'm not pastor no more.
Hmm.
Who am I?
Identity crisis. That's good.
Man, and
Hmm.
and that is almost like, that's like a breakdown. That's like
Of
an
course.
emotional breakdown, because then as you begin to study on your own and learn on your own, and you start realizing that the things that you thought are not true,
Ooh.
and you start falling down the rabbit hole, and you because now
Ooh.
you're not listening to the poison, and you start getting a truth,
then that's that next reality, kind of like the Matrix. Remember when Neo woke up in
Yes.
the Matrix? He saw what the Matrix really
Yeah.
looked like.
Really
He
was. Yeah.
freaked out.
And
And
when you say the rabbit hole, that's exactly what it is. 'Cause it
that's
gets deeper and deeper and deeper.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the beginning of self-knowledge, self-awareness. When you fall down that rabbit hole and you realize, hey, this stuff that they was teaching me might not necessarily be
What I
true.
thought it was.
And when you realize that, I tell you, it broke my heart. I think I cried for a few days behind that one.
Listen, these two brothers and me on this, we can take you down through there for at least, I don't know, 6-7 hours.
Hey, that's a
Easy.
whole nother show right there.
We can take you down through there. We
Hey,
had to do that one offline.
Hey, what y'all say? My shameless plug: complexities, controversies, and confusion because of Christianity coming to a talk show near you soon. We own the Lutcrecia for sure.
All right. I'm gonna shut it down because we are going on 4 hours, y'all.
Ooh,
All right.
It's like
Sonny,
4
wake up!
hours
I
and
see you over there
53 minutes.
nodding.
Reason 2. Listen, love y'all to life. Appreciate y'all.
You too.
Enjoyed y'all. Hope to see you again next Friday, same place, same time. Have a
Sure.
wonderful weekend. Be safe.
All right.
You know, and let's do what we can to move into this new year with intention, with direction, and in God's power and might.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
Okay.
And
Love
All
y'all
righty.
much.
I see y'all in the future.
You too. Say it, Lutcrecia.
I said, put that connection in there too. That's
And
the other one.
connection. That's right. That's right. Divine connection. Divine connection.
One
right?
question. Well, I guess I'll look on the thread. So it's not. Is it tomorrow with my man, or is it next Saturday?
It is.
Oh,
No, it's the
it's
18th. It's the 18th. I'm sorry. So
Okay.
that's Sunday.
Oh.
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
Yep. So what I will do too is I'll make sure I'll snatch that back, and now Sonny, you should do the same thing in the thread where I can send y'all the information today. Put these links that you wanted us to see in that, and I'll put that links there too. So
Okay.
you have the
Yeah.
Dominique's information, and we'll have your information. Just send it to the same link on our phones.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through this thread when we get off.
Got you.
Okay. All right. Love y'all.
All right, y'all. You too.
Good night
All
or
right.
good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's still night for me. I'll catch up to y'all in a minute.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.